man becomes a target of insanity as he steps into the crosshairs of a homicidal maniac with a need for revenge. Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Join us for a journey into the dark and endless caverns of a sick and twisted mind. Join us for a journey into living hell. Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Rated PG.
There we go. Okay, what's going on, everybody? I'm Chris, the Slasher Dude, joined by my cohorts here in these awesome films. That's Dirk over there. That's my boy, Mr. Darren Burrows, fellow slasher cohort too for slasher streams. It's great to have you guys on. How we doing?
Oh man, doing good, man. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, not too bad. Yeah, looking forward again, like I always say. But one of these films I'm really passionate about, so I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me too. And that would be Four Flies on Grey Velvet.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
Because so
I was gonna say early on, like, you know, I don't mind like even taking the lead for Perfume if you want me to, and then one of you guys or Dirk can take the lead for Four Flies, and then we can all chip in as we go, like we usually do.
That's what this is. This is a Four Films Part 1 of Mimsy Farmer.
Right.
As a thumbnail, very pretty Giallo queen. Underrated a bit. She's interesting. So she's not the typical Giallo lady you see in these. She's more of a submissive type of figure in the films I've seen her in.
Very doughy-eyed.
Yeah, like, very doughy-eyed. Something about her, the way she looks, that's why it's a good picture of her. She's very pretty. Kind of natural looking and stuff like that. I know she was living in the States for a little bit, and I know she left because, you know, she didn't like the politics and stuff that were going on here. And so, you know, she's had some parts in earlier films. I'll let you all gents discuss that a little bit here in a second. But yeah, we're talking about this is part 1 of 4 films. So we're talking about two of the films are most well known, probably, which is Four Flies on Grey Velvet. This is this version that Dirk was nice enough to get for me at the last Texas Frightmare that he was at. I did do a watch along for this.
I knew you was gonna probably pull that, so I went ahead and showed the original, like the OG art, like on the flip, you know.
Oh yeah, that's great.
But of course I got it, you know. But
yeah,
absolutely. I did get this killer fucking release, man, from France.
Yeah, it's a badass release. Look at that.
That fucking
man,
insane, dude. Like, I don't know, I dig it, but you know.
Is there new extras on that, Dirk, as well? Is there different extras to the US one?
I haven't really compared them. I haven't had a chance. I did check the scan. Okay. The scan looked damn near the same.
I admit, this scan Severin does not disappoint. Like I said, I did a watch along. I did watch the Blu-ray version of this because my 4K player has been acting up a little bit. Usually 4Ks from these companies work fine. It's the studio 4Ks I have an issue with. But best transfer I've seen in this film, so it was a good second watch for me. It definitely went up. It went up a bit. But yeah, it looked gorgeous. It looked good. And it was cool doing that for the first time, doing that. And literally word for word at the ending, Mimsy Farmer goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And they switched the language up a bit, which I really like that. Argento did that. I really like that.
And I was going to ask, I didn't know, are we going to completely spoil these films? Like spoil them? Or...
Yeah, people have seen these for the most part. And
I was going to say, I would personally.
I think we need to, because, I mean, we can let them know before that comes. But,
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I have this release. This was the first one first time I've ever seen it. This released by Shameless. This is the 40th anniversary edition. This has interview with Luigi Cosi. Now we know the relationship between those two, him and Argento.
Right.
But it's a good interview with him talking about, you know, being done and turn in and all this other stuff too, because he did Bird in Rome, right? And then he did the other two in turn, and he kind of went to those places. It was a little bit cheaper, you know, to do that there. It looks really nice. This is a good one. I like the Shameless one. I'm definitely keeping this because I like the yellow.
I had it, but when I bought the Severin, spent so much on the Severin, I went and sold that one. I was like,
sold that one.
You know, but
I mean,
I don't think you'll ever get a better release than the Severin.
Same thing. Like even versions of the
10 years from now or whatever.
Yeah, or whoever.
That's the definitive one.
This might be. I don't know who this is, but anyway. Yeah, man, Luigi Cosi, man. I was reading a little bit about him and Argento, and so he was 23 when he met Argento. Argento was 30, and they ironically had the same exact birthday, September 7th. Both Virgos. I'm a damn Virgo. I was like, what the hell, man? I didn't know that shit.
How about that? Happy a very early birthday to Argento. That's very cool. And then we're going to be talking about this one. I'm glad Darren introduced me to this film. This was released by Raro Video, and that's the Perfume of a Lady in Black. And I can't wait to talk about this one. This one surprised me. Watch this for a second time. It's a very interesting film. Right. Yeah, you got it with the slip. That's a nice slip. That's a hella nice slip for that.
Yeah, I'm jealous now of that one. Dirk got.
That's sold out pretty quickly. That's why. Slips like that.
I can't lie, though. That DVD, I think I got to have that DVD because it's got, it's got more features.
Yeah.
It's got more features than this damn thing, though. And maybe I missed the damn interview or something because I was looking.
Like a booklet as well.
Yeah. But it's got a cool little extra this has got a book too.
Yeah, yours is basically just the Blu-ray version of
this one. Just that's not a big ass. That's your shit probably got all kind of stuff in it. But no, it's got a cool short film on this though. That I mean, I dug it, man. I like the premise. Can we talk about that right quick?
I did watch it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah,
just real quick. It's It's a funny little film by Barilli, I believe, and it's like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the wandering
going around and people are dying and shit, and then he loses his scythe, so then nobody dies anymore. So like
it's almost like a silent film.
It's a trippy ass little short film. It's like 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've never seen that. I wish I'd have watched that now.
Yeah, it was a pretty neat extra on that disc. I remember watching. I'm like going, "Whoa, what's this?" And stuff like that too.
And the Grim Reaper cries out and shit because he don't, but he's sick of his job. He's sick of killing people and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Corey, thanks for joining in and saying hi. Corey, Wilkley's Movies and Music, doing great stuff on his channel. He's getting up there in subs too. Go ahead and check out his conversations. He's doing great stuff over there.
Oh yeah, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's up, Corey?
He's into Western. He just picked up a Western and stuff like that. He posted on Instagram. I forget which one it is and stuff like that, but I know he has those arrow sets. I have one. I don't have the other two. The other two are probably going to be harder to find. But
I think I have two now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I can't remember what the hell they're called, though.
Really, that last set that Arrow released, I just got that for, what was it, $3?
I have the two that have Cochise Westerns in it.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. The only reason I would get it. So just quick synopsis here on Mimsy Farmer as an actress. Began acting at the age of 16 when a press agent noticed her and offered her work in the film Gidget Goes Hawaiian. So that's her. that looks nothing like her. But of course, this was done in '69 and stuff like that too. So you know, it's trippy. It's too bad it's the only one they have other ones and stuff like that too. A little bit one line as a girl in the lobby. Her first Build film was a feature part in Spencer Mountain, 1963, starring Henry Fonda. So she's been in some good. She's been with kind of good company, actors wise, and during those old school times. And then she just kind of
got the hell out of there, huh? Went to Italy.
Yeah, I went to Italy. She was born in Chicago, Illinois. Born February 28th, 1945. Happy late birthday to you, sweetheart. So
I know she's a sculptor, and I did see that. She's still working in films. I'm trying to remember something that she did recently. She's still working as a sculptor.
She's married to Francis Porrier, I believe his name is, and stuff like that. I know she was married before. But after appearing in the film More, 1969, Mimsy traveled to Italy for a vacation and met her future husband, screenwriter Vincenzo Cerami, I believe, who wanted to write her a part in a film. And he was later writing, you know, good kind of story on her and stuff like that too. Yeah, after spending time in Italy and disillusioned by the civil unrest and political problems with the USA and its involvement in the Vietnam War, Mimsy, a liberal left-winger, so maybe far left, settled in Italy to continue her acting career. So
Italy would have been just as bad at that time, though, with the whole, you know, kidnappings and all that.
Years of lead. Shit.
Yeah, years of lead and stuff like that. Yeah, Mimsy Farmer first became.
Yeah, because there was extreme leftists and extreme rightists.
Yeah, they're all different views and all that stuff too. But yeah, she got her big break in an international star when Dario Argento cast her to appear alongside Michael Brandon in Giallo mystery thriller Four Flies on Grey Velvet, which we're going to talk about here.
Yeah,
and says Four Flies, and like I said, she's done. We'll talk about her other films in the future live, but yeah, she's worked with Argento, she's worked with Fulci, she's done some interesting giallos here with Autopsy and stuff like that. And then this one right here.
Worked with Diodato too.
Yeah, I worked with Diodato. Yeah, a flipping body count.
Right.
David Hess. How about that?
Yeah, to me that's probably her and his probably worst role though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen a picture with them together on set. That's a kind of cool photo to kind of see them all there. That's pretty neat.
You got Hess with the gray hair,
that's got to be his worst performance, hands down. Like
they're not giving nothing in that film
to
though.
The point. To the point.
Yeah. So. It's not a great Diodato film by a long way. Anyway, it's like the run of the mill type Friday the 13th ripoff. Really, is all it is.
Yeah, it's not his best for sure.
You know what? She was in Guardians of the Galaxy. She was the sculptor.
Okay.
Like
I knew it was something recent. Yeah.
Yeah. The Road to Selena, 1970. Sculptor for Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one.
Yep. Some big ass film she's doing work for. So she got out of acting, is what I was reading.
So the latest I've seen her in was a film called Safari, done in 1991. Then it just goes kind of down from there. Black Sequence. So she's done the rounds and stuff like that in these films and what have you. So
what do you guys actually think of her as an actress though? Because Borelli in the film that we're going to come on to later said that she only had 3 expressions in her face. That's all she had.
To me, she's not like
she kind of does.
You know.
Yeah, she kind of does. She's kind of bland to your point. Like plain Jane type of a person.
There's definitely typecast roles, I would say, for her. She's not as versatile as a lot of actresses, you know.
She's not. Yeah. She's not to your point. She's not. Yeah, she's not. She's very subdued type of a character.
Now thinking about it though, her best role is probably Autopsy. Like,
oh wow!
I tell you, that film's
now that I think about it,
yeah.
But
I mean.
She shows like between the giallos that she did make, she does show that a little bit of variety in her acting. That because I think with Perfume she plays that the whole like repulsion kind of going crazy type thing really well. But
Repulsion,
she plays
Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah. But she plays a psychopath in this film we're going to talk about now.
Oh,
really well. The ending.
She's good at playing that.
Yeah,
never be yours. Ha 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 ha. It's like, what the fuck? And
then the Black Cat is totally different as well. And she brings something to that film as well.
She's the most subdued in that one. She's the most really subdued in that one. Yeah. So
I'm just not. She's not like real high for me, but you know.
No.
There's some good films she's in though.
It's not in the top 10 really, women wise for me.
Right. Yeah.
I do appreciate her as an actress, and she's got that look about her, hasn't she? You know, very you get
innocent,
basically you can't innocent, and she can play that type of role.
That silver blonde hair, that's what I call it.
I think there a lot of I don't know if I mentioned it, Mia Farrow. That with
the short hair, all that stuff. Yeah.
On the Mia Farrow thing, you know.
But, which we'll come into on Perfume, because there's the story behind that. You know, that's no kind of coincidence. Right. He was a big influence on Repulsion, and Rosemary's Baby. Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going ahead and start with really the film that kind of put her on the map, and of course that's Dario Argento's 1971 third and last part in the Animal trilogy, and that's Four Flies on Gray Velvet.
And definitely my favorite of the three.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course we're going to get into it, but
it's directed by, of course, Dario Argento, music by Ennio Morricone, who they had a falling out with.
He did. He sure did. On this film.
Yep.
In particular, because he didn't like the way that Morricone did the rock music, and then
it's a jazz type of thing.
Argento claimed that he took over the score, but I mean, I think it's bullshit. Bruno Nicolai was still there.
Yeah.
So then they were supposed to get Deep Purple. To score the film.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
What a trip that would be.
Right.
Which of course led to him being good friends with the group Goblin, and we got Suspiria from that, which is my all-time favorite Italian horror film. So I mean,
right.
So it's like a happy coincidence, basically.
It took him basically 25 years, didn't it, to make it up with Morricone, and then they both collaborated on the.
They hold grudges forever. Yeah, they hold grudges forever.
Reunited. What was it they reunited on though? It was like a 90-something.
Stendhal syndrome.
Yeah, the Stendhal syndrome. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and of course, this is assistant director Luigi Cozzi. Of course, his father was part of this as well. Dario's father, of course, his names, of course, were in those early credits.
There's something interesting with Luigi Cozzi though. So before he met Argento, he wanted to interview him because Bird had came out. And there was rumors circling about that Salvatore was the true director. Have you ever heard that?
No,
I have not. For Bird?
Yeah. But like, there was rumors saying that Salvatore directed Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Wow. But anyway, I think it was like disproven or whatever.
An alternate cut of the film, basically.
After Cozzi met him and spoke with him. So I just found that shit out today. So I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. With Bird, like basically it was all due to be directed by someone else, and then Salvatore, his father, basically just said to Dario, I don't know if this is going to work out with another director. Yeah. And Dario Argento said, well, why not? I'll give it a go. What's the worst that can happen type thing. And I'm with Dirk. Like at first, Four Flies was my favorite of the Animal trilogy, but now is second. Like Bird is by far the best, but this one is
to be fair though, I've seen Four Flies as the most of the three, so I need to watch.
Most unique. It's his most unique out of the trilogy of these films, and this is literally his third film. So
there's some themes that I really appreciate about this film though. When we get into it, like
there's some very strong like death scenes as well. I think as good as anything that he's done.
It's probably some of the best camera work I've probably ever seen. In kind of this film, the way, like say, everything's
really dark. You know, like the dark shots are really dark.
There's a disclaimer before that too, when it says this film is meant to on 7 release. This film is meant to be watched in the dark to get the full experience.
Complete
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool. Yeah, it stars Michael Brandon, of course, Mimsy Farmer, Jean Pierre, Mary Lily, like a lot of cast of pieces. Of course, you have Mr. Mr. Bud Spencer as Godfrey.
Bud Spencer, hell yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Bud Spencer.
Yeah.
I love the Godfrey character. I don't know, a lot of people don't like the Godfrey character. But
these characters are based off a book, right? Based off the book or a story, similar type of characters, because they're like gypsies, basically. I'm thinking
him and the professor.
Yeah.
So like the way I see it, so he's got his name's God for short for Godfrey, but there's like a double meaning. So when I'm watching the film, I'm thinking like God, he's not concerned with money. He's disgusted when he sees people making money off of death.
Yeah,
right. The coffins and shit, and then he gives
all the great scene. That's hilarious.
He gives all the great advice to Roberto, and then guess what happens? Like when Roberto's seeking God, he finds him. So there's like I don't know
the name of his bird that he has. He's like, "Oh, hi, that's so and so." I'm like, "No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my bird." And so
it's definitely like a hidden meaning under all that. Yeah,
because I mean, he gives him good advice. He saves him. You know, I know we're kind of rushing ahead, but God intervenes, right?
Yeah, he intervenes. Yep, he sure does.
And
he's
she
like,
goes
"Stop!"
running.
Goes into the door. Stop. Francina Rosetta as Dahlia. That's an interesting name. That's the cousin of Mimsy Farmer's character, and you have the Marissa February as Amelia the maid. So kind of the main kind of cast here. Then you have the professor played by Oreste Lianello. So
the professor. So, could he be like? So you got the God character, and then you got the professor. Could that be like God in science? You know?
Yeah, because he talks about the beheading and what have you.
Over here or something.
What have you? What's going on, Holland? We can officially start since we're kind of BSing here. Go ahead and start us off real quick, Darren, in this film.
Can I just say, about the actress Marissa Fabry? She plays like an amazing scene, which we'll come on to in the pack. But I don't know if Dirk recognizes her. I didn't offhand, but she was in Rabid Dogs.
Oh, and you talking about the park scene?
And I mean, I go back now to watch that to see a character. The woman from the park scene. Yeah, she was in Rabid Dogs as well.
Oh shit! I don't. Right. So. She wasn't the main lead chick in Rabid Dogs. I don't think.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't place her, so I'm gonna need.
She must have had like a very small part. I don't know.
Might have been a really small part. Yeah, but she did Weekend Murders as well, which is another Giallo.
Okay, that's a great scene, man.
Sorry. Weekend Murders, I need to check out. I know you talked about that one, Darren.
Right.
That park scene, which we'll come on to, is amazing. It's like 100% better than I ever thought it was before.
Yeah,
I don't want to go ahead.
Very good. Yeah,
we'll come on to that. Yeah, we'll come on to that in a bit.
Right. So Luigi Cosi, he like co-wrote this with Argento. And but they were saying, so I was like reading about it, where it was saying he pulled from a film called The Screaming Mimi.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And then another film called The Black Alibi, like for some of the ideas.
The Screaming Mimi, I think part of that he did with the Bird with the Crystal Plumage as well. There's little parts of that.
And The Night Has 1,000 Eyes. There's he was going to use this where the psychic thing has supernatural powers, but of course he dismissed it for this film, but then uses it later in Deep Rit.
That's right, he does. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah. Nice.
Luigi Cosi, real quick. Luigi Cosi has uncredited. He's the masked person in the theater, so that's Luigi Cosi, with the
You're right.
camera.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's
dude,
the weirdo mask.
Yeah, the weirdo mask. Yeah, the puppet mask.
Yeah. I want that mask, by the way.
Dude, that's, I have to admit, that's
I mean, I'd come on stream with that damn mask on. So
very iconic looking mask. But he was assistant, was he as well, Dirk, on this? Cosy?
Yes,
was he the assistant
director. Yeah,
yep.
Luigi Cosi. Luigi Cosi.
Yeah, they became really tight, man. Like
they still are, I think. Yeah, okay. He runs his shop, Profondo Rosso, in Italy.
I just think it's funny that, you know, like he went to interview him, and then they were so similar. You know, had the same exact birthday, September 7th. You know,
and they were both film critics as well, which is weird. Because like you say, Cosy used to write for I think it's Horror from Filmland or what, some of the old horror magazines in the early 70s. And like you say, he got to interview, I think it was Bava. He got to interview all the big ones, Gastaldi, Lenzi.
Oh wow, Gastaldi.
You know about Bava saying what Bava said about Argento, though, right? Like, so this is before he was really big, but when Bird had come out, Bava had said that he pretty much took his like girl knew too much, the whole story. Like
I didn't realize
I
can see that.
But I guess he warmed up to Argento later on. But
you'll see the one scene in this film, mind, you'll see the main, I think is the best part of the film, is actually taken from The Leopard Man. And it's almost exactly the same.
The Leopard Man. Yep. Yeah. That's what I got down too. It's
can't wait to talk about that.
Right?
Yeah. Tony's film, I think. Yeah.
So what do y'all think about the whole eye thing? The opta. They don't say it in the film, but this is a real thing. Did you know this shit?
I heard it. I heard it wasn't.
No.
I heard it wasn't.
Optograph.
I heard they tried it. You know, they tried it in the past, but
it's an optograph, is what they called it, and like, they actually tried this shit. Too. And back in 1876, it was
shit, man.
Like, so from a physiologist, Franz Christian Boll, called it visual purple because he could see like a pigment hiding behind the eye that would bleach in the light, and then it would recover in the dark. So then, like, different people looked at images off of this, and like different people seeing different shit. So it didn't work out, but they actually tried to use it for the Jack the Ripper case.
Oh, for the case, yeah, because they probably had like nothing.
So I was like, "What the hell, man?"
Dude, yeah.
I always thought it was just science. You know,
I just thought it was some shit that Argento made up, but no, it's actually from other films, man. This shit was in a 1936 film with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi called The Invisible Ray.
Wow.
So,
yeah,
I didn't know.
No, because he did the same in. Well, he did something in Cat and Nine Tails, didn't he, with the chromosomes? And that's
that's right.
That's
right.
X, Y, Y.
Yeah.
And then
so that's why I thought,
Yeah, an experiment. I want to try something. Yeah, I want to try this experimental procedure. Yeah.
Right. It was also used in Horror Express, 1972.
Peter Cushing and Peter Cushing,
Christopher Lee. But
very
man.
cool. Yeah, great shit.
That's a price. I might be mixing them up. Shit. But anyway, sorry, man. I'm kind of going on a tangent.
No, you're all good, Dirk. No, like I say, we're all fans of this genre and this film in general, of course, of Argento.
Yeah.
So, basically, just the film starts off, you know, this, he's a drummer, Roberto Tobias. He's a drummer. There's this, fly that's around, or this insect. It's not technically a fly. It's like a mosquito. I did notice that, like, say, with the transfer for Severin, you see a little string on that thing as it goes up, like a little bit like that. I didn't mind.
You see more of that with the 4Ks, the higher depth.
4Ks. That's still cool, though. I love that because he's done that before. He'll do that later. He did it with
Phenomena as well.
He did it with Phenomena. He did it in opera. So
you know, I didn't see it in Cemetery Man, though, and I was looking
for
the blue light, the blue flames. I was looking for it.
Yeah.
They did shit pretty good.
Just
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's good. It just starts to play like with that, and you see him getting kind of annoyed by that because it's a set they're doing. Obviously, he's part of like a rock band. Has an elaborate house, really nice, beautiful house that he shares with his wife Nina Tobias, played by of course the great Mimsy Farmer, and they just finished the setup. He's talking to his buddy outside, and then this is where shit kind of starts hitting the fan a little bit. So go ahead, Darren, take it from there.
So yeah, basically, like you say, I think he's kind of like a struggling musician, isn't he? I think he's like kind of like living off his Mimsy Farmer, his you know, her kind of wealth through her family.
Yeah, is it just a wealthy family that she's part of? Yeah, because I don't think she does anything, right? Yeah, okay.
She got like a massive inheritance, like
okay,
from her father. Yeah,
it's all pregnant people, you know.
But I don't know if Dirk wants to carry on and take this through if he wants, because I know he's a massive fan of this film. And then I'll kind of do the same then on Perfume.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, she gets so that you can tell that they're like having some kind of issues or whatever. They're very so he's playing with his band and everything. He leaves. He notices somebody keeps watching him and shit, and he's you know. So he follows the guy, and then he goes into this theater, which, by the way, I think this is the first film that Argento uses a theater.
It's like a broken down theater. He all has the typical like suit, glasses, mustache, flipping hat, shady looking dude. It's good the way he follows him, right? You see the music play through these corridors and stuff, and you end up here at this place. All of a sudden, you just end up in this abandoned theater that looks broken down to hell.
Right. And he goes in there. He's asking him like, "Why? I've been noticing you're following me over a week and shit, you know." And the guy pulls a knife out, and he ends up stabbing the guy on accident. The guy falls and dies, and then he's in the paper the next day that he died, and he's keeping it from his wife. And then it's a phone call, and you see Nina answers the call, and he's like, who is that? And she's like, nobody. Hangs it up, shit. And then is it the next night? Or it might be the next night. The killer comes in. The killer.
No, never mind. Go ahead, Dirk. No, go ahead, Dirk.
Yeah, I think it's the next night, Dirk.
Well, I kind of skipped around a little bit, because why he accidentally killed this guy, there's this creepy masked dude, like, you know, with this damn mask on.
Yeah.
Taking pictures and shit. And he's like, what the hell, man? And then the summit just goes away. But then he goes home, and like I said, so the next night he hears something. He gets up in the dark, and it's dark. It's like really dark. But the lighting, the way it's shot, it really works for this film, man. Especially this scene in particular. I think it sets up the film for the rest of the way. You see that mask again. Well, you don't see this right away, but he gets like strangled. He's getting strangled by something, and then you see the mask, and it's like this creepy ass voice, like I can kill you now. And
it's like the voice you can't tell if it's female or male.
Right.
Like
It's like I can kill you now, but I'll wait. And shit, you know, like
so. Again, without spoiling anything, did you guys work it out early the first time of watching? Because I didn't.
No. This is
it kind of looks obvious now in hindsight. If you go back, it looks kind of obvious. But yeah.
But at the same time, like I do have a slight gripe about, even though I like this the most out of the 3 Animal trilogy, I would say he don't give enough clues in this one.
No, he doesn't. Right. He keeps a lot of stuff to the best. He wants to make you think about it.
That's the only gripe that I do have about it. Like,
the killer basically
made it hard, like, you know, like to figure that shit out.
That is a trip. The killer does say that, to your point. The quotes were, it's like, I could kill you now, but I won't. I'll wait. Who's going to help you? The police, perhaps? You can't ask anyone. You're all alone. It's like, oh shit.
That kind of forces his hand as well, because he's now got to tell his wife. Yeah. Because he did have that, like, he's haunted by this creepy kind of vision of this guy getting getting his head cut off.
Yeah, because they have a dinner party.
Which is which kind
And
of foreshadows the ending completely.
But you know what that is, right? So like that's like I didn't realize it until this watch. I finally figured it out. It clicked. Because at the dinner party, like Chris is saying, there's a guy talking about that shit.
Yeah, he talks about this beheading and stuff.
So it goes into the character Roberto's subconscious.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what he keeps having a dream about, but it's also a premonition in a way.
Right, he's going to the
record. It foreshadows the ending completely, and it's genius the way he does it. Yeah,
he goes to the record player
really
to get a new record. He lifts up the player and he sees the photos that were taken. I think he sees that first, and you're like,
yeah.
And he's all hiding that shit because he's like, oh shit, I get that. People here, it's like, and like a lot of shady shit kind of going on. I know there's that when he has that dream and stuff like that, and Nina's like sleeping right next to her in that nice white dress of hers. And she goes, is everything okay? Like, leave me alone. I'm fine. So,
she comes in there and like looking at him all crazy and shit. Like he's in the living room or whatever. He's got the lights on and shit. He's like freaked out.
That's a nice house.
Right. Yeah. And basically why he cast the film the way he did, because he wanted someone to look like himself in the main role, the male.
But he said that he didn't mean to.
Oh, okay.
He said that subconsciously he did it.
Subconsciously, then, yeah.
This is his. So I wrote that down. Like, so he said, like, he took his wife to the screening.
Yeah.
And everybody that knows them started at him awkward. And then like his wife was in tears and crying her eyes out while they watched the film, and he realized it clicked in his brain. Then he's like, subconsciously he had told his whole life story on screen, and now the whole world is about to watch his shit.
I mean, that's pretty much what ended their marriage as well. Well, it was the final nail.
Final nail in that.
I mean, they were having issues, obviously.
Yeah, it's weird. Acting like
He says so. This was the exact quote from Argento. He said, "It was as though I had told the story of my own life, our life, and this story which was about to hit the world."
Right.
So,
yeah.
While his wife's in tears and shit, just like,
yeah.
And then all his friends are like, "You fucking asshole."
What a jerk. Yeah.
But and then 3 years later, I guess he got with Nickelodeon.
Right. Yeah. And that all bloody ended the way it did.
Their daughter as well. Had their daughter the same day. Had the daughter the same day. Different year, but the same day, same month they met each other on set. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I didn't know that.
Like he has that dream, doesn't kind of know what's kind of going on. He's just like, just leave it alone. Leave me alone. I'll be fine. Blah, blah, blah. I think I'm maybe skipping like a little bit.
Hold on. I just want to add one more thing about the optograph thing.
Go ahead.
So I didn't mention this. I thought this was pretty interesting. So I wrote the shit down. So like people really believed this shit when it first come out. Like they believed in this science, this technology. Yeah. So gangsters would shoot the victim's eyes out. So nobody can fucking see.
You can see the killer, man. I have a witness there. Yeah.
I was like, holy
shit. That completely makes sense, man.
Yeah, just in case. But see, for years I've heard people laugh about this movie. Like, what the hell was Argento thinking? Like, like with the optograph thing. But it never says optograph, right? In the movie.
No.
Anyway, like say they take the eyeball, take the picture, all this other stuff, and you see the. Yeah, but
it's just so like we'll come on to it at the end, but it's just such a clever way they do it as well with the four flies going back and forth.
Yeah.
So
what do you actually think about the comedy that's in this film?
It don't bother me at all. Like it really.
At second watch, it didn't bother me because I've seen it before. Like I said, it doesn't kind of bother me because it's used in Deep Red. It's used in Deep Red a little bit.
It's used in a lot of his films, actually.
Yeah,
but. The whole Postman thing is like really.
Postman does kind of a little on my nerves a little bit, but I like the Godfrey. I do like the Godfrey character. I do like the professor. I don't know. I like
because
even the private investigator as well. He's like a gay character because Argento uses a lot of gay characters during his films.
Yes.
And there's kind of a comedy element with him as well, which we'll come on to in a bit, about him not being able to solve a case.
Yeah, like 85 cases he couldn't solve.
Yeah,
he just couldn't solve it. He's like,
yeah. I didn't mind that.
I'm
I didn't mind
so
his
and
actual.
so. It's like, yeah, I'm him. I'm the dude. So
there's a comedy part of his actual death scene as well, right at the end of his death scene, which I didn't mind. But the postman thing was the only thing that really, kind of out of place. But
deal.
And so we're up to the part where the maid actually finds out what's going on. She over listens.
Yeah, she's listening in.
She should just stay being a maid.
Exactly, yeah. And like I've said on like me and Dirk when we do streams, right? You never blackmail a killer. That's the worst thing you can ever do.
Yeah,
man.
what the hell are you gonna blackmail a killer?
It sucks being a maid in a Giallo. Your vice, same thing. In a lot of these films, same thing.
But he does give a clue away as well with the whole flashback sequence to the mental hospital.
Yes, this is the first time.
It's hard to pick it up. I don't think you'll actually be able to pick it up who the killer is from that alone. But it's kind of a clue. But I realize what Dirk said. He doesn't give you that many as he does in his other films.
Not especially at first watch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's not enough breadcrumbs. I don't think.
I think Fulci may have used some of what he saw with this because I know he probably saw it to put in New York Ripper too with that whole scenario with that killer. And that mindset, it's like
I think they were all watching each other's films.
Oh yeah,
even if they deny it.
I'm sure they did. Like I need to exploit this asshole.
Okay, the scene with what's her name, Dahlia?
The cousin. Dahlia.
So that scene where she's going into the narrow corridor closet cupboard thing.
Oh, the maid. Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that maybe Carpenter saw that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not. But
that's right. Yeah, because she's.
But maybe.
But Carpenter admitted that he's seen a lot of. He was a fan of Argento's stuff.
Oh man, I've seen them shoot together at conventions. Like they're talking together and everything.
Right.
They have.
But that scene feels a lot like the closet scene in Halloween in a way.
It does.
Yeah, I completely agree. But
she
doesn't
steps in it for a second, then she goes out of it, right? Because she's waiting for the person to show up. And
but it reminds me
that's a good one.
Of Bava as well, and the girl who knew too much. Do you know what I mean? There's that type of thing as well.
So Dario's pitching from Bava, Carpenter's
flattery. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
But this next scene in the park is probably in his top 10 scenes.
Where it says, I'll meet you in the park. Ever. Yeah, I'll meet you there and stuff like that because I want so much and stuff like that. Better be there.
Yeah, it's an amazing sequence, man. Because
is this your favorite scene of the film, you think?
Yeah, easily
it's not
for me.
It's not mine, but I do love it. Yeah.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's the whole setup, like, because we see her basically in the park waiting. You see all these kids playing and all life going on around. And then in that split second,
the couple
she realizes that
making love
evening sets in.
And
the whole park
black
is deserted.
Sky.
Yeah.
It is.
And you see that skip. You see that skip. Yeah, everything disappears.
Through the narrow corridor with the spider webs and shit.
With the maze and all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a Gothic castle type
The
atmosphere.
Shining.
With the wind blowing and all that.
I always thought that the maze that she's in, like, this is The Shining almost because she can't find her way out. Then you see the far thing or whatever like that. You see that and she sees something. But to your point, when everything is
over the wall too to some passerbys, some people.
Right,
something he's trying to hop up to get.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
like I said,
I think my favorite.
Go ahead. No, you go on.
Okay, my favorite scene though is when you see the knife go across Dahlia's face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she gets dragged down, but you see the knife come down.
Yeah.
You see her reflection in it.
The reflection in the night is amazing.
He did that in Bird, but it's done better here.
He kind of perfected it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Hitchcockian. Very much like
you can see the reflection of her which I don't know. I just love that scene, the way it looks. It's like, and this same year as your Vice, or no, this is before your Vice. So
year before, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of, they reminded me of each other with the body being dragged down the steps kind of thing, which that probably could go way back if you think about it.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, the body being dragged down the steps, you think of Haste by the Cemetery.
Right.
You know, Cacciano McCall does exactly the same going down. You know?
Right. But that's later.
Yeah, that's Fulci like taking a little.
It's
bit
like 10 years later,
you know?
or something, right?
10 years, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I imagine
the scene in the park is definitely like the Leopard Man. Sorry, Dirk.
No, you're good. You're good.
There's a scene in the Leopard Man where this girl's coming up the front path, you know, and she's being followed by someone. We don't know what it is, if it's a killer or, you know, whatever. But she kind of bangs on the door to get in, and whoever's behind the door won't let her in. And then we just hear her screams as she's being attacked. And this is exactly that scene in the park, man. He must have copied it to a certain degree, or
I read
copying
that it was cool.
maybe. Yeah, it was.
I did read
cool,
that
he's got his
Leopard
own
Man.
stamp. Yeah,
hold on, let me see if I can find it exactly.
he's put his own stamp on it. He has. But it's.
I know to your point, it's like when everything kind of stops, like the children are gone and the music stops because there's an intercom system. So there's music playing and that stops. And you're like,
right.
Then all of a sudden the gate shuts, right? And then all of a sudden, to your point, she's the only one there. And you're like, oh, shit. So,
it's
like
to your point, Darren,
that was done very well.
Just changes in seconds, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
So you know who might have, should have, well, not supposed, but who was up for, like, they were trying to get to play Roberto?
There was a few on there.
Ringo Starr, John Lennon.
Ringo Starr.
Fucking John Lennon. Could you imagine John Lennon playing Roberto?
No,
I can't. He's too subdued, to tell you the truth.
And Tony Masante was
from Bird.
Yeah.
There was quite a few I was reading up on.
That'd be interesting because it'd almost be a mainstay of a character. That'd be weird.
Wasn't Michael York one of them as well?
I just read about Tony Masante, Ringo Starr, and John Lennon. I thought that was just insane, like John Lennon or Ringo Starr.
Yeah, because I was reading up as well. It's got Terrence Stamp was even thought of at one point.
That would not
James
work.
Taylor, they said as well. But yeah, they must have. Yeah, I think they got the right guy because I like Michael Brandon in this part.
I do too, and like the way they are, their relationship. I mean, like Argento did say though. I said this a minute ago, but he did say that he must have done this subconsciously. He didn't really mean to do this.
James Taylor was thought of to do
that. But
I could see James Taylor doing this. That's a trip. James Taylor, are you kidding me? That dude, that singer? It's like it's
right. So with Michael Brandon, have you guys heard of a TV series called Dempsey and Makepeace? It's like a cop show.
No,
I have not.
Oh, right. So basically, he was in this cop show in the 80s in the UK. He plays this kind of tough kind of detective with this blonde kind of side, you know, this woman kind of helping him out on all the cases and all. So like watching this, it's just nostalgia for me because he hasn't changed much, you know, from the early 70s right through to the 80s. But I think he does a great job in this. I don't think a lot of people talk about Brandon as one of Argento's top man.
Yeah, they say he's wooden and all that shit. I think he does a great job. I think he does a great job.
I think he's vulnerable. You know, he's an asshole. Don't get me wrong.
Even
at he's a good-looking cat, too.
I know you don't like the postman, but even that scene when he's beating the postman in the head,
that's hilarious.
Like, even that scene, he's pretty strong.
It's like, you all stay away from me. You all don't touch me. It's like,
but again, with his character, I don't know what you guys think, but even though he's a complete asshole, right? What he does to his wife and all that with the cheating and. I don't know. I kind of got like a little bit of a liking for the character, and I don't know if it's just me because he is portrayed.
I like the character because the cousin thing. That's kind of like she kind of gets what she deserves because that was really that was really her fault. What how that shit went down, but
and that's a weird scene as well because one minute she's but like he's in the bath and she's saying no,
Or
no.
she's saying,
like, absolutely
she tells
not.
him to go get a bath.
Yeah, go
like
get
who
it.
the hell does that?
Yeah.
Like, so is that normal? Like,
No,
I'm supposed to go over to my sister-in-law's house?
No.
Or my cousin, my
cousin,
old lady's cousin's house.
She's so adamant though that she doesn't want nothing to do like that.
Yeah,
and then the next minute she's just all for it. Like,
yeah,
man.
I know it's where when they introduce her character, and then like say to this point when because it's Nina's the one that mentions that the maid is missing. So it's like she's disappeared. Don't know kind of what happened to her, and then through all the events that. Well, first, then he goes to see the detective, right, or the private eye.
Yeah, Gianni or Rosio.
Yeah,
I really like that character.
Do you think that? Like the initial opening scene, though, in this one, do you think it's like what like Argento has said himself? Sergio Leone taught him one thing. He taught him to have a great opening, like a volcano erupted.
Oh yeah.
Do you think he does it in this one? I mean, I kind of do. I dig the opening.
I can see that. You can see a lot of that work from
not as strong as other films, but I still
does it in. I'm trying to think. Now he does it in pretty much every film.
Yeah,
he put like look at Sleepless. The opening 20 minutes to that is as good as anything.
Suspiria, Deep Red.
Yeah, Deep Red.
Deep Red.
Tenebrae.
Yeah,
every single film. You know, he does do that scene.
Opera.
Maybe some of his lesser, opera's another good example, but maybe some of the lesser films which me and Dirk are going to come on to on the weekend, maybe not so much, I don't know, but you got that big show-stopping opening. It's definitely Argento,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But some people have criticized him for doing that and then not being able to keep up with that pace.
Keep the pace, or have something as strong as. Or not have as strong as of a ending,
Exactly, yeah. Because the ending to Suspiria is my only kind of little thing about that film.
Oh.
And I mean, the same could be said for Inferno as well. Like, I don't think they're strong endings. But yeah, absolutely, I think he nails it with the opening scene for this one.
Actually, he doesn't go to the detective private eye first. First, he goes to the Godfrey character, right? So he goes out on the countryside. He's fishing.
He's searching for God.
Yeah.
God's
like, I'm looking for God. He goes to the hammock guy first, and he asks him, and he wants like payment.
Yeah. The hammock professor guy. He's a science. He's a science, right? He wants the money, but God don't give a shit about money. So I love that.
He goes,
it's
God,
like
and then you hear the music, right? And he goes like, "Don't call me that." It's like,
but the eating of the fish as well. That's gotta be like Jesus type, Jesus type, reference. Yeah,
definitely. And the Godfrey character knows everything, right? He's like the all-knowing. He knows every damn thing.
It's like I don't know where else to go to.
He has the greatest advice.
He's definitely, I'd say, like probably what Dirk says, probably the best character in the film.
He takes him to his shack. He goes, he wants to introduce him to his bird. I forget what he calls his bird. He calls him like he makes fun of the bird.
Jerk off, is this something like that?
He says jack off.
Yeah, jack off.
Oh,
He's like, not you, the bird. This is my bird, jack off. Say hi. Yeah. He sits down. He says, you want something to eat? No. He says, I have a problem here. And that's when he kind of tells him, okay, then calls his buddy in and stuff like that and wants you to watch his house, see who comes in and out. That's when Mimsy Farmer's character Nina decides to leave because there's a lot of shit going on here, Right. So it's like, I'm gonna go away and something like that. There's that awkward scene with those, he's doing his own thing, she's doing hers, and she leaves, and then he's left with the very pretty cousin. So,
I mean, she puts it on a plate as well. I mean, most men are not going to say no, when you got someone like that. But kind of like you say. He is an asshole, but I think he's kind of like a lovable rogue in this.
Yeah.
I think his marriage is dead. At the same time, his marriage is dead.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead. I don't think they're doing like anything. That's very clear up to the ending of this film, boy. There's like...
Right, yeah.
Which, how do you feel about that motive, though? It is a little far-fetched, though, kind of, right? Like,
it is far-fetched, man.
to
it
be
doesn't make complete sense, really, if you're thinking.
So we're spoiling, of course, we're spoiling, and we've been spoiling some shit anyway. But she says that her dad died, so she never got to get revenge from the trauma that her dad did to her and put her through.
He wanted a boy.
He wanted a boy.
He wanted a boy. He didn't love me. Yeah, and all this other stuff. Yeah.
And then it really, so her whole motive was to marry him because he's just like her father.
Yeah. Basically,
so she get revenge on him. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Like in a mental institution, you find that out. The cousin, one thing with the cousin, when she's packing up the stuff, you get visions back to that part too, and you're like, wait a minute, because I almost thought it was her.
It's a red herring.
It was her. I thought she was the one that was doing this.
It definitely points to her.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm like, nah, it wasn't her.
No, wait a minute. Yeah.
So,
but I think Roberto's obviously been abusive in the marriage that they don't show it, obviously because they become so distant, and she's got this like motive that she wants to do anyway. Yeah. But I think
I don't think he wanted her to be a boy though.
No. Not at all, man.
There was the scene, like you say, with the guy who you thought died. So that's an elaborate scheme there. So that means they made up the paper clippings of him being dead. He's in a restaurant. Then he makes the calls like, you and I need to meet. This is getting whatever like that. They go back to his place where he's staying at. It's like going, people have died. The maid's dead. You killed the maid, and all this other stuff too. And a great shot where he has his back turned and the killer picks up, it's like a vase or something like that. And you see the camera just go like that. And that's great. Where you see the person in the hand, boom, like that.
It's a camera that follows the vase, doesn't it? Or follows.
These people are like dumb as hell, though. Like,
they're pretty bad.
That this son of a bitch already killed before.
Takes the wire. What is that? It's a wire something.
It looks like a damn clothes hanger or something.
Yeah, puts it behind
or some kind of
twists it.
Or like bellin wire, like you would bale hay with.
Yeah, like for hay and shit or something else, and just start twisting it and stuff like that. That's done very well.
And if you look at the hand, it's a man's hand. So so I'm guessing that's that guy just reaching back trying to.
That's what I was looking at, but I think it was his hand trying to because I was thinking
it's Luigi Cozy since he's the mass killer.
That's another
uncredited
thing, like where you get no clue. If you'd have seen a woman's hand, you could kind of narrow it down.
I mean, the only real clue I had was the female, like the androgynous voice, like between male and female. That was kind of the only clue that. At this point, anyway,
that was good because, like you say, the changing of the language from English to Italian almost kind of says the switch in personalities too. I really like that.
Yeah, I do like how they do that on this.
Yeah.
What do you think about the death of Arosio, though, the private investigator? I think that's done really well.
Because he's keeping an eye on somebody in the subway. Because first he visits.
Well, he's worked out who it is.
Partner.
He's done figured it out.
Yeah.
He went to the mental asylum, didn't he? And he found out who it is, and which we won't give away at this point, but we'll give away later. And then, in realizing he's following the killer, and then they track him down into this railway.
It's almost
toilet.
like he had a death wish, though, in a way.
Yeah. He's seen. Yeah, I
like agree. He's happy that he figured out a case, and now he can die. Like.
Yeah.
What the fuck,
There's that scene with the killer putting a blue substance in the syringe, right? Where it's going like that.
Like some kind of poison, right?
Yeah.
It's poison, I would imagine.
To cause have a heart attack, basically, because, and that's a unisex bathroom, too, which I noticed.
And it's injected in the heart, too.
Male, female, that he goes into. Yeah. He goes into, I think, the stalls to see if the person's in there, and that's when the person kills around. It's the same type of shot too, which is a slow shot, like right here, and it's just like that, and it takes a minute, right?
Yeah, hang him in the head first, though.
It wakes him up. He's like that, and he's like, and then it starts.
So the killer's not just doing this, like, actually has a bloodlust now to kill.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Not,
yeah.
It's not just the bullshit that's said toward the end of the film. The revenge.
I think anyone that tries to uncover the killer, obviously, as well, they all get their comeuppance one by one. With the maid, obviously, and the private investigator.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're coming on to another great scene that Dirk was on about with Dahlia, where she's targeted in this cupboard. It's an amazing scene, man.
Right, it's because she's
because she
packing up the
watches
lead.
through like a crack of the door, doesn't she?
Yeah,
because she's figured it out too.
Yeah.
She just
figured
did.
it out
She was
too.
thinking
Terrified.
about it. She figured it out.
Yeah,
She's getting ready to pack to leave because that's when she
figures it out.
Roberto that she's leaving soon. She's packing up her stuff. Then she hears something. She goes up the stairs, right? So she goes up these stairs, right? Which is a long, drawn out thing, right? Because you see the stairs leading up to this room. She goes up there, and it's typical Giallo, great cinematography, right?
That reminds me of Tenebrae too.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, same
top of the door,
almost same shot, exactly.
Yeah,
with the girl in the miniskirt.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, yeah,
man.
just walks up there, like say, sees that closet, or it's like almost like old school entertainment center thing that opens up and stuff like that. She just hides in that, done very well. Plays the woman in distress there.
You see the light,
in
the crack, and I mean, it's amazing, man. It's an amazing shot.
And then what is it in there? Then she goes out. Then she gets caught, where it's like turns around, boom, like that,
slice across the forehead.
Yeah, slice across the forehead. Very Hitchcock-like a la Psycho.
Yep.
Going down the stairs that different way, right? Where she's like that, and then simultaneously the knife comes down, which is done very well. You see the reflection and all that shit just goes down.
It's an amazing shot.
It is, man.
Done. Yeah.
It's done better than Bird did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely that. So you'd say that's your favorite part of the film, Dirk?
That's my favorite scene. Period. Yeah.
That's my favorite one. But by how
I do love the park scene too, though.
Yeah. Scene, a lot of it's close-up kills. That's what I like about stuff like that. I mean, that's what makes this genre so cool. Like it's close-up stuff. Like old school slashers did this.
And it's first person most of the time.
Yeah. POV shot.
You don't see the killer killing like you do, but you don't. You don't see the face. So
there's always a method to it, and it goes to the the parents are there. Nina's of course back and stuff like that.
That's when the guy comes up asking about
asks him.
We got this. Well, he don't tell her. Because if she would have,
they have like a conversation or something like that. They what is it like? It looks like it's a tense face off, and then she walks away with their parents, I'm guessing, or her parents.
Well, he wants her to check out the body.
Yeah,
and he wanted to ask her some questions. He was going to ask her about the eye optograph thing.
Yeah,
and if she would have stayed and hung around, she could have covered all her tracks.
Yeah, I could have covered the bases pretty quickly. It's like, I want to try this procedure. It's like, what is it? So what we do? I
don't know if she would have covered a track so right. Because she was going to still do it.
Yeah. She probably wouldn't know the jig was up. It's like going, okay.
But I was going to say, there's no way. Yeah.
He wouldn't have known.
She wouldn't have agreed to it, would she, really?
Well, I'm saying he wouldn't have known later. The
four
flies.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have seen, because he wouldn't have been the one to see this shit.
That's a trippy scene, because trippy events that they do that, right? So they have the eyeball, they take out the socket, right? So they have it like, was it okay?
Like a laser beam thing.
Yeah, laser beam thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a graph, those old school computer things that you look into, right? You see the graphs and you see, oh, here we go. And you see 4 flies like that, but the way they almost look like they're smiling because of the sequence of her in. And then he eventually gets it. Then he eventually thinks about it, where it's a.
It don't mean nothing then. Yeah. It don't mean nothing right then, but later.
Yeah. Later it does, because it's from a medallion.
Yeah.
A necklace that the killer is wearing, where it's swinging back and forth when the kill happened.
It looks like tracers.
And it looked like tracers, and there's flies on
that. Psychedelic shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where that gentle comes up with some of this stuff, but it's fucking genius.
Well, I mean, I told you about the optograph thing's great.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing with Stendhal syndrome, right? Like, that's a real thing, too. So,
he did.
Yeah.
But
it was used in another Giallo, too, as part of that second, I think, Forgotten Gialli set, I think Vinegar Syndrome had. I forget. That was used a lot differently, but it's like almost the same type of thing. They were kind of copying off of that.
I hate to keep going back to this thing. I'm going to just say one more thing about it. But because I wrote quite a bit down about this.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
I found out about the optograph thing. Like, it just tripped me out that I was like, mind blown that this was a real thing.
Yeah.
But there was this guy, William Friedrich Kuhn developed an image from a recent decapitated head of a murderer, and everyone saw a different image. So that's what disproved, and science was like, no, this shit ain't worth a damn.
Yeah, that ain't real work. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
can see why people did actually believe it, though, because I would have back all that, like, 50 years ago?
Yeah.
That, I would imagine that shit would have been totally believable.
You're talking about, 1876?
Like, yeah, this is 71.
Yeah, 1877, I think, is when they developed that shit. 1880s when he got an image for the from the decapitated murder.
Yeah, I know what story you're talking about with that too. It's like, I think it was used in an episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not. So
that's a trip though. But it's kind of mind blown for me because I didn't know that this was like a real deal thing.
I didn't know all the shit about Jack the Ripper. They was gonna try and do it.
They were gonna try it. Yeah.
That's like,
I can see that if you have like nothing on the person. Yeah, you have to kind of go by all avenues and just do that.
Because Ripper was like 4 years before they actually did it, and it didn't work. So
yeah. But we're coming on to like
anyway. Sorry about
that. No, that's all right. I love all that shit. But we're coming on to like the reveal and the final like shots, final scenes of the film. Because he kind of like Roberto basically gets this gun, doesn't he? And
he gets a Beretta.
Beretta. He starts loading it.
God just tells him, don't go anywhere, stay where you are. The killer's going to be coming for you. So he tells everyone to get away.
That's similar to Cape Fear, and the original and the remake. But I mean,
that's
maybe like to stay put in the house,
Absolutely, yeah, with the Robert De Niro keep coming, I love the last like 15 minutes of this film. He's amazing.
There's a scene with the professor too, and this woman meeting outside of this car from this like fountain, I think it is, that just comes out of nowhere, because he tells him about it, he talks to him about what's going on, and I think he gives him some information too of what. Because he tells him about the dreams, about the beheading and stuff like that too. He says, "What unique could possibly be?" And it's like this almost coming full circle. One of these,
and that shot is because like we mentioned before, God intervenes. Right? She's finna kill Roberto.
Yeah,
he pops in there. She hauls ass out of there. She's scared of God.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No, yeah.
And
basically, I think he passes out. I think because he's just sitting there in the corner in darkness, right, where there's just the light from the window that's shining on him. Then all of a sudden, that cool. It's like a painted glass door, and he sees the shadow, and he sees her enter the room. He sees Nina enter the room. He turns on the light. He tells her to get out of here. It's like, you got to leave and stuff like that too. It's like, what's going on? You just got to go. That's when he looks down. That's when he sees the pendant, the black pendant, necklace that she's wearing.
Yeah.
And then he sees it. Then he sees it going back and forth, and then he's like, all right. Yeah.
Then he starts slapping her around the room and shit.
Oh, dude, there's more than that. He tosses her. He boom, like that. I'm like, damn, son. It's like,
and she's like licking her own blood, liking it and shit. You're like, oh.
Because he puts the gun down. Right, so she picks up the gun and puts it up to hit here and stuff like that, and go and that's when she starts to say, it's like, my father wanted a boy. He always wanted a boy. He didn't care, and all this other stuff too. It's great. It's great cinema. It's great talking. Like I say, the English dub with the original Italian dub and stuff like that, and they switch in between like every once in a while. And you kind of see that, like, she's kind of trying to fight it and stuff like that, too. And you said, oh, yeah, she's gone. She's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's out of there.
Yeah.
It's the part of the film where I realized that Mimsy Farmer can actually fucking act. She does a great job. She does a great job in the final scene and the reveal, but, with a past about her father.
And that's like a very, I'm trying to find my notes for it, but that camera they use was like some kind of ultra slow motion camera, and
it was like 36,000 frames a second, which is like amazing, like for the time. Didn't they bring it in from Germany? Didn't they, Leipzig, Germany? It was like kind of a trial thing they were doing. But that's
and
shot.
it's still like even on this print that we got, you still see like a fragmented thing, but it still don't take away from Morricone's lullaby theme that goes with it.
Man.
So I think that detracts you from that, seeing that line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's a beautiful shot, man. It's
the whole thing in it, like
basically
you say, with the music.
First, she shoots him in, like, what is it, the shoulder or something like that? Shoots him there. That's when she starts talking about the whole thing about her father wanted this and stuff like that. When he died, it's like I couldn't get revenge. Basically, it's like I couldn't do it for all these years. Like almost wanted to make him proud, even though he was a piece of shit to her as well. So it's like,
right. but I mean, if you think about it, she's a piece of shit too. Because I mean,
that whole family's
like she only married him to kill him. Like really, that's kind of weird motive, but
I think basically
that's when the Godfrey character,
the way he was with his actions, he was obviously cheating. He was cheating and all this.
Yeah, he was he's a musician.
Kind of realized.
Yeah, he's a magician.
He's a musician. Like he's not.
Didn't she like get to the kind of thing? Basically, all males are fuckers. Like all
she was gonna find somebody that looked like her, that reminded her of her father to get. But she didn't actually get the revenge on her father. So.
It's the same thing too. When the cousin dies and stuff, she calls the dude at his studio and stuff like that. And the producer or whatever mentions that she called and said, "Yeah, no problem. I'll call her back, whatever." Not knowing what happened to her. And just when she finishes her stick, it looks like stuff's about ready to happen. That's when Godfrey character comes in there and goes, "Stop," or something like that. And she bolts out the window, right? Or she bolts out something because he's sitting there. So I think she bolts out opens up a window, goes out of there, goes into her car, and then
it's a sliding glass door, right?
Yeah, sliding glass door. Gets in her car, starts driving. A lot of stuff I think is going through her head at the start, whatever like that, and that's when it happens. Boom! In slow motion, the coolest slow motion car crash I've ever seen.
And a trash truck.
The trash truck.
Yeah. So, like something I didn't mention that I should have mentioned way the hell earlier. That did y'all know that this was to be Argento's last Giallo?
Yeah, he didn't want to do it. Yeah, he didn't want to do another one.
He thought people were gonna be burnt out on Giallo.
Yeah.
Which I was like, holy shit! That's
how about that one?
To think if Argento only made the first three Animal trilogy.
Just think if the Milan thing didn't go so badly, he wouldn't have made Deep Red. And
he wouldn't
have.
That's what I'm saying.
Like or opera or Tenebrae
or opera, anything after that.
Shit.
Yeah. A lot of people said that film that he did, Days in Milan, should have premiered in his home city where he was born. It would have gotten a better, better reception, but it just didn't. People weren't used to that, so he's like, okay, I'll just do this, and the rest is history. That's why it's the last great Giallo ever done. I mean,
5 Days in Milan, yeah.
Because
with this film, apparently, like obviously, what he tried to do, he tried to film it. He filmed it in Turin, Rome, and Milan because he wanted some kind of to put the Italian viewers watching
different
ontoriate them, like so they don't know what's what, and apparently that kind of worked well. But the gore in this is kind of moderate if you think about it compared to like the films of the time of his time.
There's not a big body count here.
You've got Bay of Blood in the same year. You've got Slaughter Hotel.
Oh, really?
This is kind of more, yeah.
Both
Fernando De Leo. But this is kind of done more, not for gore's sake.
It's more modern, like for the time.
Yeah.
It's very modern. It's very modern for a Giallo for the time.
Yeah.
And then you see, was it? Because her head basically eventually comes off. So you see that, I think, was it for a brief second? It like goes boom, boom like that or something. So it's like, crazy. Good stuff.
Argento did say, right, so the murder in the park of Amelia's murder, yeah? So he said basically this was his like small film within a film. Even that sequence, he kind of like treated as a mini film.
It's like a short film.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's definitely great.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I just don't like I think it would have worked better with like one of the Giallo goddesses or something. I don't know.
That's a
maybe
strange one, that is, because
maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just feel like, I don't know.
I can't see anyone playing Mimsy Farmer like she did at the end, though, when she goes all psychotic.
I ain't talking about her. I'm talking about the park scene.
Oh, you mean just in general the park scene?
Oh, the victim or her?
Oh, the victim,
maid.
yeah. So you think that would have been better with like an Edwidge Finesse or something like that?
Or a Steinberg or a
Steinberg, yeah.
Or
I agree with you.
Or a Neary, or you know what I mean?
Or
because she is quite manly. The woman
she is
got like this manly type face,
right?
She's
or like a Barbara Boucher or one of them, or Barbara Bach. Somebody like
Barbara Bach. Yeah. Oh, damn, that would have been funny.
Which I'm surprised he did, because he's always said he'd rather kill off beautiful women, and she's like, no disrespect, but she's not really beautiful. The maid,
right?
The girl that played in The Girl in 1-2-8 or whatever it is, that former Miss Italy. You could put her in there. She could have done it.
You're talking about Girl in Room 2A.
Yeah.
And what's her name? I always forget her.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, Giordana or something like that.
Oh yeah, Giordana. Yeah. They could put her in
your
there.
Vice as well. So.
Yeah, she was for like a minute.
Right.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, what's like your overall thoughts on this one then?
Go ahead, Dirk.
Oh man, so Four Flies on Gray Velvet, man. I still think it's the best of the three out of the animals. Cat. I'm gonna. Like, maybe I'm not fair to Cat of Nine Tails. I've only seen it twice, and I need to watch it again. But Bird's a masterpiece, but I don't know, something about Four Flies, man. Just with the premonition thing, with the shots, with the themes, with Godfrey, like how God has he knows everything. I don't look at it like. I mean, that could be God in the, just a theme.
Yeah. Metaphor. Just a theme for that film. I agree.
Right.
I definitely think it's like a really strong film. Because Cat of Nine Tails, I've not seen a lot. I'll never go back to it. But that's kind of bland.
With Malden?
Huh?
You won't go back to Cat of Nine Tails?
Not much, shit. I will when we cover it. We will.
I've only seen it once. I do like it.
I don't like the lead guy, James Franciscus. I think it is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I need to give it a fair day in court. You know what I mean?
He doesn't do a lot of the film. I've only seen it once.
Maybe I'll figure something.
Right.
I do know that the Cat of Nine Tails means there's 9 different leads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Cal Malden character, and the little
blind
girl as well. Yeah.
The girl that helps him.
I like that.
And you got that kill with the guy in front of the train, gets pushed in front of the train, all that stuff.
Well, the train, that was great. Yeah.
But Four Flies is easily better than that.
And you put Bird over this?
I would, like Bird would be a 9 out of 10, and I never felt, like I say, Four Flies was my favorite of the 3 for a long time.
Yeah.
But I went back, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago for Eurocult, and we covered Bird, and it just fucking clicked with me like that. Because I was always a Four Flies,
with the woman in the bedroom and stuff like that, the way the killer with the knife and all that other stuff too. That's top tier Giallo kill right there.
The opening gallery,
really good. And that's his premiere. Yeah. That's his first film. Holy shit! You're like, this guy can do this. He can do this.
I mean, I love the twist of Bird, like with the, again, spoilers, but
that's great. No, the twist.
To be fair, not to be fair, but actually, it's kind of. You heard Gastaldi talk about it, right? He said it was lazy. Yeah. He said it was a lazy.
Yeah. It was a lazy film. Yeah, lazy. Film. Well, they all talk shit about each other. Yeah.
But you can go back to Bird. You can watch the opening of Bird, and you still can't fucking tell like who the killer is. It's done. Right. I think it's done well, but
right.
I agree. It's what you can come back.
As far as like the misremembering thing, Gastaldi thought that was pretty lazy way to do it.
Yeah, I would imagine anything's kind of lazy compared to Gastaldi because he's just a fucking master at writing.
Like, he is. But I still think Bird's in its own right, man, the masterpiece.
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah. It's a 9 for me, Bird. This is like, I put this as a 7, but like a 7.5, bordering 8, I would say.
Me too. Yeah, it's a 7.5 to me too. I agree. It's probably, to me, like out of the Animal trilogy, it almost goes not in order, but yeah, Bird of course is 1. I really like Bird because Bird is, like, say, if it's rewatchable, then it's worth it. Specifically for this genre, if it's rewatchable, Bird is highly rewatchable. Like another kind of film that kind of imitates Bird a little bit. You know, the one that you and I reviewed there real quickly there, Darren, that one stream that we did. But and then Four Flies,
Tenebrae, yeah.
Yeah, Tenebrae, and then it's the one with Franco Nero in it. That
Fifth Chord?
Fifth Chord, yeah.
Yeah, the Fifth Chord. Yeah, like films like that are highly rewatchable for me.
Yeah.
I really like those films and stuff like that. Four Flies, I'm like with you. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's rewatchable. I like it. It's grown on me. Before, like you said, I did not like the Godfrey character for some reason. That just put me off. But I love Deep Red so much, and then I look at the kind of comedy aspect a little bit in that with Daria's character, which I like a lot. You know, I can appreciate this film, so it's rewatchable. Great shots. It's filmed beautifully. It's not Argento like of a film. This has the least colors out of anything he's done, really.
Yeah, it's all done in dark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all done in dark, almost like kind of like what Fulci would do. It's a
it
gritty
reminds me of
giallo.
Martino.
Yeah, it's a gritty giallo, like something Fulci would do. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, absolutely.
I would say probably more Martino. Like, I don't know.
Martino, yeah,
because he's all into the darks. Like when I think of Martino, I think of black. Like
Martino and
I think of
Argento are very much
Argento,
alike.
I think of red.
Yeah.
When I think of Argento, I don't know if that makes sense, but
Martino and Gento are very much alike in style, in my opinion. Very much alike. It's crazy to think that way. They both think the same way about, their actresses and, women and stuff like that in film and stuff like that too.
Martino's like, for me, like, he gets underlooked at really because Dario, you got full.
Yeah, Dario he actually hates his actors and actresses. Like, not hates them, but he
stated that when I did my research on him and stuff like that. He always seems to have a flipping issue. Yeah,
not hate him, but he just doesn't work well with them. Like if they ask him for advice on how to do something, he's like, "You're the actor. I pay you." Kind of shit.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
you figure it out. Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, it's
when you have liked to have seen, like, who say an actress never did an Argento film that you would like to have seen them, collaborate with. Wouldn't you love to have seen Edwige in an Argento film?
That's one thing.
Great,
she never did one. She never did one.
No, I know we got robbed.
I'll tell you who would kill it though. I know who would kill it.
Anita never did one with them either.
Mia Farrow would kill it in an Argento.
Yeah, Mia Farrow would.
Early 70s. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, Anita never did one with them either, right?
No.
She never did.
Stromberg, no. She would be killer too. Yeah.
No. Yeah, she would have been great as well.
It happens. Like such a large genre, so a lot of different directors and stuff like that too. So you kind of spread out, almost like studios, right? You have certain people to certain studios, that just stick there. So you have these people that just
like family.
So
because I don't think like someone like Edwige for next would have worked in like a Fulci film. I don't think that would have worked.
No.
For some reason, I don't know why. I just get that feeling.
No, I don't think so either.
Would have been a perfect fit.
She definitely wouldn't have worked well with Lindsay.
No. Well, he was all kind of big.
Because Lindsay and Fulci were pretty much like cut from the same cloth,
Yeah. But Lindsay was all Carol Baker.
But see, I'm gonna go ahead and say now, man, I give Four Flies on Grey Velvet, man. I give it 8.5 out of 10.
No, that's fair. Yeah. I can totally see that, and I probably would have agreed with you like 2 or 3 years ago.
I think there's more than meets the eye, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
More than meets the eyeball in this.
Obviously, we've watched it to cover this stream, but it's one that I can go back to all the time. I can never get bored of Four Flies ever.
No.
Whereas Cat and Nine Tails, I just don't want to really go back that much to it.
I'm interested to do a dive on it. So
we'll definitely do it on our channel. We'll do it big time. We could do the Animal trilogy in one go if you want, or just do one-offs. however you feel. But I can't wait till we do the opera, like a one-off opera. I think that'll be a good one to do.
Yeah.
But all the Argento stuff, we're gonna cover everything anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Can't wait to talk about this next one. As you know, I fucking love this film, man.
Yeah, Il Profumo della Signora in Nero.
In Nero, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jane. Jane Doe.
Jeff's mom.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, Jeffrey's mom. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. I know the Dead Pit Boys are doing their stream right now. So I do appreciate everyone that's stopping by. Appreciate that. Yeah, Perfume.
I thought that was at 5 a.m. though, or 6.
They're doing an impromptu stream, like seeing what's going to happen and shit. So.
Oh, okay.
So it happens. It's fine. Yeah, directed by Francesco Barilli, stars Mimsy Farmer, Margarizzo Boniglia, and Gaston Larroux, I believe. That's how you say the name.
I mean, if y'all want, I'll read a synopsis. I did write a synopsis for this.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, man. Okay. Go for it, man.
I always try to write a synopsis. I didn't for Four Flies this time, but I will on this one. I thought it was pretty interesting. Sylvia, a severe victim of childhood trauma, has managed to become successful as a manager at a chemical laboratory. Okay. But soon after mingling with some friends that explain witchcraft and cannibalistic sacrifices are happening worldwide, she starts to lose her grip on reality, like Alice through the looking glass.
Yeah, there you go. Alice through the looking glass. Yeah, because there's a book that she is reading throughout this film and stuff like that. It's basically Alice through the looking glass, aka Alice in Wonderland, basically. Good old twisted kids nursery rhyme, whatever you want to call it, but it's a messed up children's book.
Right, so I can go in a little bit about the director if you want, just to set up the film.
Yeah.
So you got Francesco Barilli. He was born into like a family of artists. So he was asked at one point during his directing career, do you regard yourself as a director? And he said, no, I regard myself as an artist. But he went on to be one of the most promising young Italian actors back in the early 60s, I think, 50s, 60s. And then he became an assistant director on Camillo Bazzoni's Western, Vivo per la Tua Morte. And that's Camillo Bazzoni's related, to Luigi Bazzoni.
Okay, yeah.
And if you notice, right, that Barilli and Luigi Bazzoni, who did Footprints, were best of buddies. And you can see, and I'll point out as the film goes as we go, there's elements of Footprints on the Moon in this, and it's unmistakable as well,
Okay. Yeah, there is. There's
at least two striking similarities.
Even you could say Short Night of Glass Dolls.
Yeah, that would be kind of fit into this because people question whether it's a Giallo. I know Dirk. I know Chris said he don't think it is.
I feel it's more psychological.
Like a psychological
horror, definitely.
Yeah, and it definitely has the Giallo elements for sure. But
right, yeah. So basically, then he was also a writer, so he's a man of many talents. Yeah, so he wrote the Giallo "Who Saw Her Die" from 1972, directed by Aldo Lado. Yep. He actually shit all over the film. He said it's nothing like he basically just ripped fucking Aldo Lado to shreds, his direction and everything, which I'm bewildered because that's one of my favorites.
He probably had ideas,
like Stephen King maybe with the Shining, but Man from Deep River, like Dirk said earlier, he wrote that for Umberto Lenzi. So basically, one day he had two scripts. One was about a woman. Go on.
Sorry,
no,
Darren.
That's all right.
The only other film he directed was Hotel Fear, which is, I guess you say, Pensione Para in 1978.
That is an incredible film, which I've been meaning to ask Dirk, can we cover that at some point? Because that's set in World War II.
Yeah.
And Luke Miranda plays a fucking scumbag in that film. Like, I mean, I won't go say too much, but he does some
Okay.
unspeakable acts in it.
Yeah, I need to check it out for sure.
Oh man, it's got really great atmosphere. It's like period piece, obviously, through the World War.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one came across by two different scripts. One for like a woman who's lost her mind, and another obviously for cannibal part of the film. So like the production company basically told them to put the two scripts together and use them as one film, which we did. But yeah, I just one thing before we start as well. I want to go on to the main setting is in this building called Piazza Minico, and it's in Rome's Copper District. And if people with eagle eyes will actually realize that the opening shot of the film, where we see this house, was actually used in The Girl Who Knew Too Much, and it was used in Dario Argento's Inferno as well.
Oh shit!
And I can pinpoint what scenes in those films as we go. You know, I got.
Well, I was going to say that the shot outside the building by the fountain.
Yeah,
and then you got like this, like esoteric looking entranceway with these 20-foot doors.
It's like an apartment building.
I mean, that's a beautiful shot, man.
That's what found it interesting.
With the red carpet coming down the stairs. And,
that's right. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's
amazing
like
shot.
Breathtaking, you know? Because the film opens up with a photograph of a little girl with her mother and father. And then that fucking soundtrack with the violin like kicks in. Again, the soundtrack for this, I like one of my favorites.
It's a good theme for this. It's a tribute.
Nicola Piovani did also did Footprints. Funny enough, the same soundtrack.
Okay.
You know, the same composer, I should say. But so yeah, we see a picture, you know, and like Dirk says, you see the little boy in the fountain, and then we pan up to a man like watering flowers. But he sees Sylvia, you know, who's played by Mimsy Farmer, obviously.
Yeah, the creepy old man kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like some pervy shit.
He's like, oh, hello.
Some pervy shit. But then...
Right, yeah.
Well, go ahead, Darren. I don't want to interrupt you. Sorry, man.
No, that's fine, man. No,
yeah,
feel free, man, to interrupt whenever
you want. I was just
going
to say, like, you notice, this almost has, like, that same vibe from, like, House with the Laughing Windows.
Yeah.
Because all these people, like, she's super paranoid by these people, you know?
Right.
Like, because all these people keep looking strange at her and shit. Like, it is some, like, kind of similar to House with Laughing Windows in that regard.
And again, Rosemary's Baby. You know, I've not seen it, but I do know the actual backstory to that.
Yeah.
And I know he was a big fan. Borelli said he was a big fan of Rosemary's Baby and Repulsion.
Yeah.
So, and you can see it in this film, like, you know, straight from the word go.
Right.
So we got Sylvia. She's like, she works as a manager in this chemical laboratory. She carries around this little doll as well, which from her childhood, which comes into play a lot later on.
This is another one with you know, childhood trauma.
Yeah.
With Mimsy Farmer.
Definitely. And we'll come into like your thoughts on it a bit later on and that, but like this film is for me, like, it's one of the best non like Argento, Fulci, Martino, you know, Lenzi, best none
of the top masters of the genre.
Yeah. I think it's a superb film as well.
They reference this film quite a bit in Closed Circuit.
They do, yeah. Because the posters on the wall.
I mean, they show it a lot
cinema.
throughout the movie.
You know, from the movie theater itself, like movie theater poster, what have you. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a very successful film. I think it made over 500 million lira, you know, at the time, which is pretty good. So, you know, she visits her mother's grave early on, Marta Hackerman. And we find out her mother was like only 32 years of age when she died. But there's a great scene where she's at the graveside, and like the wind changes and the whole atmosphere fucking changes, and it becomes all this like.
Is that the one where it's like the was it the
real trippy kids, psychedelic
like doing brass? Or
yeah.
Like that? It's like you can borrow the whole
it's like right, yeah. It's like a bright, beautiful day to
But how do you think? Like, what's your interpretation? So this is my second time watching this film, and
right.
So at first I was just like, okay, this chick's just going crazy. But you notice, like, at a certain point is when everything changes.
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah.
So you're trying to set. So then I got to look back and be like, okay, this film's trying to sell me that she just lost her fucking mind. Of it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm interested to hear what you're gonna say about
I don't think she just lost her mind.
Just out of nowhere. No,
Anyway,
we'll
get there.
Yeah. I think it's too obvious to just be just that. Like, I think there is obviously a hidden meanings.
Right.
But yeah, you've got the creepy older neighbor, like you mentioned, Signor Rossetti. But basically, her boyfriend is Roberto, played by Maurizio Bagalivi, like very well known Giallo.
What do you think about him, though? I don't like that guy.
No, you can tell straight away. There's something.
I just don't like him, man. He's annoying as fuck. Like,
she is kind of like very frigid with him as well. I know they do end up having sex in one scene.
Yeah, that's a weird ass.
Yeah,
one of the weirdest sex scenes ever.
Well, they have that, like I say, they have that dinner party.
Yeah.
I guess, because what is he? Is he a professor or something like that? What does he do? The boyfriend.
He's something to do with films, isn't he, or something? You know,
he's like something to do with her.
He's in the
chemical plant, right?
Yeah. I think but he's basically he oversees all like to do with the advertising as well.
Okay,
yeah, because he has like all this, he's all these taxidermy stuff in there. I know she gets him like a butterfly in a that.
Right, and there's a big flu and all that shit as well.
And
because did you see the African masks on the wall?
Yeah,
I saw
exactly.
Voodoo.
That's what I'm talking about.
Voodoo. Yeah, he talks about
the voodoo shit comes into play. You know,
right?
And the shit with the taxidermy thing, that's got to be a straight nod to Hitchcock, man. I mean, I really,
yeah.
I have to go to the shop before. Well, she doesn't. That ain't till way later. Go ahead, there, Darren, because you just got started.
So she's with her boyfriend Roberto. They visit some like African friend, Andy being the one. And Andy tells them about there's witchcraft, curses, human sacrifice is still going on to this day.
Right.
And then you're kind of thinking, is this like giving it away too early?
Yeah, what the hell is this shit about?
Yeah. Because he just ends up laughing, doesn't he? And like say, oh no, by the way, that was a joke.
And he's all weird throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Like they don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. Yeah. There's like something shatters and it's their son. And they tell him to just go back to bed, and stuff like that too. But like, go on. That's when she kind of smirks a bit because she sees the child. So she smiles, because it looks like everything's kind of geared towards kind of her there. When everybody's talking, it just kind of centers on her. And she's just like laying there. The dude's like right next to her, so.
Yeah. So that's where I wanted to bring Dirk into it. Because when I spoke to Dirk before and you said you realized like what was going on, was it because of that early scene with the African guy telling him?
No.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that scene because I must have and I watched the Italian version this time. I watched it in Italian and read it, so it was it's a different experience than I tend to do that. If I watch it in English, I'll go ahead and the next time watch it in Italian or vice versa. But no, it was the whole unraveling mind thing. That I was just like, okay, this is going to be an unraveling mind. But there's more to this shit than that.
Oh, God, yeah.
I must have not finished the movie. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I say, the first time I watched this, I got tired, so I watched it halfway through, then I watched it the following morning. I watched it all the way through, and I got it a lot better. And a more appreciation, really, for the film as a whole, really. I
must have turned the shit off as soon as something happens.
Yeah, probably. It happens.
It's definitely unique for a Giallo, but even if you don't call it a Giallo, it's a unique film. Like nothing like it.
What really tripped me out? It's not in Troy Howard's book.
Right, you probably don't regard it then, obviously, as a Giallo.
I was looking for
which a lot of people don't. Yeah,
I think it's more of a horror than most
psychological. But I also think it's supernatural.
Yeah. It's very supernatural.
Yeah.
I think it's supernatural.
Yeah. I think because they say there's no kind of murder mystery, although there is a little bit with the mother.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Yeah, because you don't know a lot about that at the start, which is a trip. That story, just revisiting.
I have a theory on this. As soon as we get squared away, I'm gonna save it for the end. But
yeah, man, yeah.
Go ahead.
So you've got Roberto. He's with Sylvia now. He's kind of this asshole type boyfriend character. He wants her to go and play tennis with his friends. He's not particularly. She doesn't really want to. They end up having this argument in the car, and her female neighbor Francisca, she's overhearing. So this is where I was going to say about footprints as well. So Sylvia oversleeps, and I mean she don't oversleep by like an hour,
right? Because
she
oversleeps. It's like
4 in the afternoon.
She's already
like, come up, and she just doesn't seem to
want
in, and he does. And
she's already kind of under the spell, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of reminds me of the Florinda Balkan scene where she oversleeps, but she oversleeps for like 3 days in Footprints.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a few things because
this one says, what is it? It's like 4 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, 4 in the afternoon. Yeah. So, and I mean, you've got the scissors part as well, which is like Footprints. Which
the broken photograph. On the floor. Yeah.
So she's obviously broken the photograph from the night before.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing with that as well, where she takes it to the shop and all that. But she buys this butterfly for like Roberto, her boyfriend. And there's this creepy guy watching in the back. And everyone seems to be watching her from different people seem to be.
She doesn't. Like, she doesn't notice, but it's the first time you see him.
I mean, like symbolism for a butterfly is like freedom, but it's also like. Anytime I see a butterfly, like when they emphasize it on something, it's like symbolism. Like you've ever heard of the monarch butterfly, like mind control.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The collector.
Yeah.
Collector.
I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping out over here or something.
Right, so while she's at Roberto's place now, right, and like we said, he's got like these strange masks and stuffed birds all over.
She's just sitting there looking at them all. She's like,
yeah. Like it's hard to make, until you know the ending, it's hard to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
But she starts seeing visions of her mother, like dressed in black,
right.
Like and this black dress.
You think it's triggered from the perfume?
Yeah, very possibly. Yeah, because she's putting perfume on as well.
From the mirror, right?
In the mirror.
That's where you'll never hear that theme again or the score in the film. It's like a creeping thing, and you hear this like that, and she was terrified.
To me, the score is the strongest character in the film.
Oh God, yeah. She's all like. Just basically,
the score of this film is the strongest character of the film because it kind of like
score is
she sees her in the mirror, so she sees her just doing all this stuff, which is her mother. You don't know that at the start, but you kind of get the idea because you see the photo on the gravestone and stuff like that too. So
the thing about the score, right? So I know it doesn't sound anything like Short Night of Glass Dolls, but it's got that kind of eerie violin type.
It does.
Like it does remind me a lot of that. And this is in my top, say, 25 scores of all time, I would say.
It strikes certain emotions when you like.
Yeah, it's definitely like Dirk said, it plays a huge part into the whole film. It's done to perfection as well in different scenes. But so she goes to this shop and she sees this colorful vase in the shop window. And it evokes this really creepy memory of this guy having sex with her mother.
Coming at her, right?
Yeah.
Looking at her. Yeah.
We realize later on that it's a rape scene.
Yeah.
But it's really creepy. This guy's face as well, I don't know how they cast that part, but he's perfect for it. He plays this
plays this shady piece of shit. Yeah.
So she goes to play tennis with Andy. And there's a scene again which completely probably gives it away, where she cuts her hand on the racket, and that creepy black dude starts sucking all her blood out of her hand.
Exactly.
I mean, you can work it out.
Nail. There's a nail on the racket.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're I don't know if I should mention anything of that yet, but
Feel free, man, to if you want. Yeah.
I'm just saying it feels like on the second viewing, of course, but I didn't notice it because I guess I didn't, like I said, I missed the last 2 minutes of the film or whatever. But it's like she's being coerced.
Yeah, this guy.
This whole time.
Yeah.
And it's almost like because of her childhood trauma, she's more susceptible to this type of shit, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the voodoo shit, because they're definitely into some occult shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they're drugging her as well? I know it's not really mentioned.
I mean, it's possible with that prick with the tennis racket when it pricks.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking there's supernatural element as well.
When they're at that party when she was drinking wine,
or maybe some kind of
that too, you know.
Maybe some kind of hypnotism or something, you know.
Yeah.
There's definitely supernatural elements all the way through.
Yeah.
And it all comes to like, you know, it's this mishmash of all different genres, which I love. But yeah, so we get a shot there, and you've got Roberto, Andy, the black guy, and this old man, and they seem to be like kind of up to no good, but they don't really tell you what.
Yeah, he seems pervy, like he seems real pervy toward her. But then you find out,
the ladies walking and stuff like that. You have the dude on the bench, and they go past him, and he's all like, "Oh, such women, such beautiful creatures here for us men, or whatever it is, or something like that."
Right.
You know, I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah."
That part I could have done without because that's just a meaningless part of thing, really.
Yeah,
but the guy the guy with the cats, though, you find out later, he's not being pervy. He even tells her. He looks at her like a father, like
a daughter.
Like she's his daughter.
Yeah, because he's a retired teacher. He explains to her too. It's like going, I was too old for it. I was too old to teach, so I retired.
So I even thought
pictures now.
I even thought that he was maybe gay, but he does mention that he did have a wife.
Yeah.
But what I didn't say earlier on is when the African guy is telling her all about this witchcraft and all that shit, they tell her that some some of these groups single someone out.
Yes, they do.
It becomes very
they single
person
out.
Later on for sure. But so we find out like her father was in the Navy. She basically cuts the head out of like these pictures she's got, photographs.
Yeah.
And that's of her father, right? Or is it of
that's
her
her father?
Yeah, that is her father.
That's her dad.
There's childhood trauma from her father.
Right,
and the stepfather.
Cool.
Or
just thinking the dude that was
stepfather,
there.
But do you know that opening picture with her and her father and mother that opens the credits, opens the film? I read in a book somewhere that it's kind of implied that there was incest going on between her and her father.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Right. There you go then. There you go.
That's the vibe I got. As soon as I seen her cutting his head out of that picture, I was like,
so there's the abuse from her father.
Like shit happened here. She wants to just forget about the whole thing, She keeps on going back, though. She keeps on going back to that grave, put flowers on there and clean it up. At the start, she does. You'll get to that point where she comes back there and she does something else.
Right.
So,
but that's what I'm saying, though. So she's so her life, she's dealt with that her whole life. And then up until now, this weird shit starts happening. Like, no.
And you can tell why she's frigid with her boyfriend, Roberto, because of all the shit that's gone on. Because she keeps seeing this vision then of her stepfather raping her mother, but this time she sees it in detail.
Right, because she's in the room. Because she's like, it looks like she's back in that room, right? She's all back like that. She sees it, right?
And then you've got the little girl in the room with her, and they both do exactly the same. Yeah, which we don't know at this point.
Yeah,
but it ends up to be little Sylvia. And they both use a pair of scissors to strike this guy in the face.
Like that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
And I
think
all
that shit is amazing, man.
I also think that they're using the little girl somehow either by
a metaphor.
Their witchcraft or their hypnotism, one of the two. they're
yeah,
communicating to her through that little girl.
Yeah, because she's not. Yeah, because is she there? You know, or you know,
you know, is she in her mind? You know, or how is she becoming? Like you say, we don't know if it's hypnotism or anything,
or supernatural witchcraft voodoo shit. You know.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. So she goes back to the next day to this shop to buy this vase. I don't know if you call them vases in America or vase. We usually call them.
I know what you mean.
But the shopkeeper says, we never had one in the window. She said, oh, I'm the one who always does the window.
Yeah, it has flowers on it and stuff like that, too. It's like, where is it?
And that's the medium. That woman's a medium as well, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So
well, the medium is the blind. The medium is the one who's blind, but I think she runs the shop. I think that was her assistant that was there.
Right. Yeah. So you got Roberto. He tells her that he's going out of town for the week, like to... Again, another clue really to Cape Town. So, you know, with the whole African, you know, speech we have at the start. So Sylvia bumps into Rossetti, the neighbor, then at the zoo. She tells him that she didn't know like how her mother died because he keeps asking her like these really weird questions.
Tells her to take off her glasses.
Because
I don't like talking to people like eye to eye, like talking to people that way. I don't like, you know, this stuff.
That's what I'm saying with like the hypnotist angle. Like they're part of this cult, but each one of these people are playing on her emotions from her past. And
I agree. Because like you say, you got the medium who's to come as well. All these are like, it's all different parts of this.
Yeah, because she has this little, it's almost like a keychain, this little doll that she carries with her all the time, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Mickey Mouse clock that she has by her bedside.
That comes into play as well. But so she wakes up now and she's got this girl saying her name, you know, the little girl. And all the flowers in the vase, you know, which her friend Francesca has brought over the night before, they all seem to be dead.
Yeah, Sylvia.
Yeah. She goes to collect the picture from the shop, but it's gone missing. The one she gave, you know, the shop to get the frame done. Mm-hmm. But while at her friend Francesca's party, there's this blind clairvoyant medium, and they stage this like seance. It's like
the neighbor is there, and the neighbor is there. The old dude neighbor is there at the start.
Yeah,
they all seem to be there. You know, the black African guy, her friend. You know,
the wife.
So she gives this medium the little doll she carried because she needs some kind of stimulus.
She needs something, a conduit.
Try and bring to bring spirits or whatever.
And there you go. There you have it.
But she sees what the clairvoyant sees, you know. So she sees Sylvia's father drowning at sea, shouting, you know, Sylvia, like that. She kind of sees this man that raped her mother. But her mother in this like vision from the medium is putting out these flags, and they seem to be going to do this celebration of some kind.
It's a celebration of the city. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which again comes into play later. And Sylvia in these visions from the medium is doing something bad, but we don't know what it is at this point.
Yeah. She wants to stop. She goes, I don't want to do this anymore. And she's like, you can't stop. You can't stop now. We have to continue doing this. We have to fully go through it all.
You know? But the medium actually sees her do something to her mother, which we
thing is she actually does it. She's like, okay, she continues to do it, even though she doesn't want to do it. She still does it. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay,
yeah, exactly, yeah. So we see this weird scene. Then the blind clairvoyant Francesca, Andy, they all put on these blue lab coats, and they go to this like underground tunnel. Is that what you would say?
It's like a broken down place that they drive to, because there's a scene where she calls her boyfriend too, right? And he's from a payphone. Then he goes into the car. Then you see these other dudes there. You're like, oh, well, wait a minute.
Right, it's all mystery around all these people. Yeah, like
that's when the paranoia really sets in.
Dude, that's when it really sets in for me. I was like, shit, dude, there's a bunch of shitty people here, dude.
yeah, like what Dirk said about, which I didn't put this film with Haste with Laughing Windows, but it is.
Yeah.
It's really that type of thing.
Okay,
you know?
so that's very similar. Okay, yeah, I definitely need to check that film.
Oh, you need to see that, Chris, by the way.
Yeah.
Honestly. So again, this is one thing I love in films. Like, so you got this big stormy night now, you know, we've got this big storm happening. The little girl from the Visions, which is played by Laura Wendell, who is actually the really hot girl who gets attacked by the dog in Tenebrae. I think that's
She's also in Ghost House.
Ghost House,
way.
yeah.
With
And
that
she's in My Dear Killer as well.
My Dear Killer in 72.
Yeah.
Her name is also Daniela Barnes.
That's how they originally,
Daniela Barnes.
She went under that name originally.
Americanized name,
but
actress name.
She was also in Manhunt, which is the Italian Connection, 1972.
Right, yeah, she did. She went through a spell where she did quite a lot, but she went into like the Borelli was saying she did a couple of softcore porn films as well.
Oh, okay.
One when she was underage, like clearly underage.
Crazy.
Yeah, because Steve. Like, funny enough, I won't go on a tangent, but Steve.
I think Steve mentioned that.
Yeah, he said he was watching it the one day, and he said he had to fucking get off his computer because he didn't want to get done for like child porn. But it's really weird because she's like 13 or 14 and she's completely naked in it.
Oh man,
which is really like disturbing.
Right.
But without going on a tangent, so this girl then she's got like this little music box, and Sylvia like says, you know,
she opens it, and shows it to her. She's like,
this is broken in exactly the same spot, and she says, "That's mine, not yours." Like,
I know.
This girl's very protective about it. This girl says, "Why do you need it now? You're too old," or, you know.
Yeah, too old for it. Well, she automatically goes into the house, right? She sees her, automatically goes into the house, starts eating her food and all this other stuff too, drinking. Right. Like, what's your name? And you know, who are you and all this other stuff too.
She is Alice.
Name is Alice. That's right. Looks just like Alice.
With the dress, the white dress.
Yeah, the white dress. Yeah.
But you've got the scene where she's on the stairs, where she's going on the stairs.
She's on the cover. It's iconic. Yeah, this right here.
That's fucking amazing. That's
with the yellow walls, the staircase.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you think Bava was an influence on this with the colors? And because I do. There's no denying Bava's like the colorful.
It's a cool old school apartment building. It's very immaculate type look.
It is,
dude. Really nice. Those big double doors for these rooms. Are you kidding me? It's like crazy.
It was actually the library scene in Inferno was actually in this house as well.
Oh, was it really? Nice. Yeah. That's great.
So there's a shot so the neighbor comes over, right? Rossetti comes over and she kind of says to him, you know, basically, there's a little girl in the house. Like, you know, can you get rid of her?
Yeah, there's a girl in the house.
But he's been out in the rain. He's got this raincoat on, and he's got these weird, like, drops of blood on his shoes. And again, you can like piece all this together. You know,
he's like, my nose bleeds. He says, my nose bleeds in this weather. He's like, I just
happen every time it rains.
Right. So when she has the altercation with this little girl, she bites her hand. And when this guy comes over, she says, "Oh yeah, but look at the bite on my hand. She must have been here, and it's gone, completely gone."
You realize how that works with the blood on the shoe? That comes up later.
Yeah,
it does.
That comes up later. Yeah,
because we know where he's been now in the night.
Yeah,
you know?
But it comes up later. You're like,
at that point we don't. But
because nothing like we're like when you first watch this film.
Yeah, nothing's what it seems. Nothing.
It's like. Nothing's what it seems, but it's also nothing really happens until like 80 minutes in.
It really does.
And the film's only 99 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, cool burn for this. It's like, dude,
But
and maybe I didn't find it slow at all. Did you find it like a slow build? Like
not
in
really.
a bad
Second
way,
time I didn't. No,
it's pretty slow. Like the first watch was pretty slow for me.
Yeah, for me it was the first time watch. Yeah.
I think you need to watch it a couple times. Like,
it's another standard. I think you need to watch it like 2, 3, 4 times before you get everything.
Right. I fully grasped it now, but Stendhal took me more times. But
I'll be honest, when Dirk said that he watched it, I don't think you said you disliked it, but you said like you worked it out and all that early on, and it kind of like, you know, that's why you didn't think a lot of it. And my heart sunk.
Yeah, it's way different now because
honestly, I'm not being funny. My
mentions
heart stunk when he said that.
One of the neighbors mentions that she's lost her black cat. Hence
Well,
the
this
word
is it,
black
yeah.
cat. She's lost her cat. I forget the name of the cat, but she's lost. I don't know where he's at. She calls the name, doesn't know where the black cat is at.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because like Signor Rossini as well, he feeds
She
his
also
cat, like
the little girl says something about somebody let her have a black cat or something, right?
That's
well,
right.
she gets
yeah,
a present. Yeah. She gets a present from her.
She does,
right. She gives a present to Francesca. Yeah.
But when he feeds his cats this meat that he's obviously been out, in the rain to get,
he's like, "Come here, kitty, kitty,
we
kitty."
find this fucking finger in there, like this human finger in
and that's like
all the meat.
The shock moment when you're like, okay,
missing.
There's some weird shit going on here.
Because
she comes
back she comes back to the place, and what is it, the dude that runs it's like the door guy who watches the door and does all the maintenance there with the other woman that lives there is talking about, it's so unfortunate that she died, she was so young, and all this other stuff too, who you're talking about, and they mention what's her name,
Francesca's died. Yeah,
Francesca
died in the bath. She's only a young woman
because she knocks on her door earlier and she doesn't answer, right? And then she starts to realize, oh shit, she's dead. So that's why she didn't answer the door. And you're like, what the hell's going on?
Well, what's weird about that scene is, right, when she goes back to her apartment, Roberto's there, just out of the blue, completely just turns up. And then she mentions about her friend being dead, but Roberto knew. And there's no way he would have known if he'd have been in that apartment. Like, do you know what I mean? She's
first
only
off,
just
the woman, first off, she gets a present, which is the vase. So she gets a package with nothing on the card, and it's the vase. Yeah. All of a sudden, her friend shows up with, yellow roses and lilies, right? Yeah. Where it's like, I think I'd just share these with you, right? You see the yellow roses, you don't see the lilies until later, which I thought was kind of weird. So
yeah.
And
they die the next day as well.
Like, look, perfect. Right, just something
for no reason that all those flowers are just dead the next day.
Yeah,
well, I think that's
Sylvia.
That's a play on the time angle too, though. I think.
Yes, it is.
Right, because like I said earlier, like the sense of time for her is like doesn't matter.
Like Repulsion, right? Where she thinks the walls are cracking and all this other shit too in that film, and stuff is happening in here without her knowing
manipulated. Is what I think.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Repulsion, there's a shot with the family photo at the start of the film actually ends in Repulsion right at the end.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So that's definitely an homage. But so Sylvia Roberto, they attend the funeral of her friend, Francisca. But weirdly enough, the ashes are given to like the clairvoyant.
Right, it's given to her. That's a weird scene where the guy just gives it to her. They just roll up in whatever that nice car is, and then they drive off.
Yeah.
It is very strange because Sylvia, after the funeral, she kind of runs off and she goes into this tunnel herself, where you've got the guy spraying all the water.
She's just walking. Yeah, she's just walking. The dude's all spraying. Is she going to walk through that? No, he just goes like that.
He's cleaning I guess he's cleaning the damn tunnel or whatever.
The tunnel, they do that. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, it's her tunnel.
But she has this vision then, while that's happening, she has this vision of Francesca's coffin. But then, weirdly enough, Francesca's ashes end up being sent to Sylvia's apartment. I don't know if they're sent, but they just happen to appear in the apartment.
She opens the box and she gets it all over her hands. All over her hands. This black, and it's like, oh, dude, she's like,
It is very weird. It does start to get very weird at points.
And that disappears. That disappears from her hands.
I keep going back to it, but it's what I think, each little thing that happens is deteriorating her mind. Kind of.
Yeah, like different pieces of the puzzle, different things, people
all these
different in different ways.
Things that are being done to her.
Absolutely, man. Yeah,
completely being manipulated.
Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously, with Roberto being back and knowing about that death as well, which he couldn't. There's no way he could have found. He could have knew. That puts him under suspicion as well, because he's kind of a suspicious character anyway. So she ends up seeing the full vision now of her mother with the flag, So we go back to like what the medium saw earlier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's like on the balcony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she basically pushes her mother off the balcony.
Yeah, she just walks over to her.
But also the little girl's telling her what to do the whole time, right?
Yeah, because she says to her, doesn't she? Yeah, she says, "Do what I do. Do everything what I do today, or what I say, I should say."
Yeah,
so
it's
you've
that
got
scene in the mirror where she's dimming herself up and stuff like that, and she all kind of
she becomes her mother.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It does.
She becomes her mother, and then, but I think like they made it this way because this is probably part of their plan.
Yeah.
That she has to kill herself.
They know her history.
Yeah. Yeah.
For them to eat, if you know what I mean. I know we're coming on to that scene,
absolutely.
But
yeah. No, that exactly.
What's the scene with the character of them? There's the scene where she goes because they get she goes back to this taxidermy place where she got the picture originally kind of fixed at, right? So it happens to be the same type of part where she gives them the cat. She wants the cat she wants the dead cat done by a certain amount of days.
She gives them
fast. That's where we get introduced to Nikolai, and he's played by Orazio Orlando. And
she gives them an old address.
Yeah.
Right.
This isn't this your address, Sylvia?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's not. This is a whatever like that. It's like
she don't have any money to pay. So he wants an address. He wants a phone number.
Yeah.
She's like, we don't have a phone. He's like, okay. And then the stepfather comes out from the back.
Like, this creepy.
We skipped that part, but
and he just goes like that. He just holds it, right? Because she gets terrified and she leaves. And then he goes back and he tells him, get out of here. I don't need you here. He's like, okay, Yeah,
because then that's when the rape scene happens, right?
Yeah, she goes to the house.
She goes to the old house and everything's decrepit and shit. And then the dude's raping her, basically. And
he finds her. Well, first off, that's a good scene there, right? Because it's a nice villa, I guess, because you have that garden type, canopy thing that walks towards it.
Yeah.
He sees where all this happened in the room. That's when he finds her and basically starts rips off her panties and all this other stuff too. And he goes, you pushed your mother off the whatever like that.
You won't get away this time or something. And
he
starts raping her. She hits him in the head with a stone.
Bang. Yeah.
And kills him.
You see the scar where she hit him, sliced him as a girl, there in the side. They put that there for that aesthetic and stuff. That's where she goes, gets her boyfriend. Where because she hides in his car.
There's a couple of stories about the rape scene, right? So basically, the actor who played, the creepy stepfather.
Yeah.
In the original
Orlando.
Yeah, that's the guy. In the original part, he had to be completely naked. So when they were filming, right, so they were getting the actor, he had to strip off naked. They were kind of trying to get the shot together. And all the whole crew started laughing. So Borelli then kind of looked around thinking, what the fuck's going on,
Yeah.
And this guy, Borelli said this guy was hung like a fucking donkey. He said he'd never seen a dick as big as that ever before or since that scene. So it kind of brought, humor to the crew. But in terms of the actual scene itself, it took Mimsy Farmer 3 or 4 days off, which she had to lie down for 4 days.
Right, had to do that,
because of that scene.
Because she get all types of dirty on that concrete floor and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the rape as well. It's not nice to do, and it really affected her apparently. And
it's mean spirited, definitly.
Yeah, it took it a while.
Scene, of course. Yeah, it's a trippy scene.
But yeah, it's But yeah, we have. I guess we fast forward a little bit, right after she.
Yeah. But that's when she hits him with the brick. She's hiding in the car, right? But she all has that smirk on her face because she's glad to see him, right? Goes, what's going on there? You've been acting weird and stuff like that. It's like, let's go there. Takes them in there. It's all dark and of course like that with the flashlight. He goes, this is where it's at, and nobody's there. And you're like,
because
that's when she's like, oh God, what's going on? He's like, just get a hold of yourself. And she goes, basically, I'm not yours. I'll never be yours. She just takes off. I'm like, that's it. That did it. That did
it's
it.
It's implied that she's killed her stepfather, right?
Yeah.
Because she basically goes back. You know, they go back and the body's gone. I know we see that a lot in these films.
Mhm.
But she keeps seeing like the little Sylvia, you know, telling her to dress in the black dress because she gets her mother's black dress. And again, you got the big holiday, like we've seen earlier on
She's
in
putting
the
the
film.
makeup on and all this stuff too, or the lipstick.
But at this point, she completely fucking breaks Sylvia. Because she breaks into the neighbor Rossetti's apartment and she got like this fucking meat cleaver.
Meat cleaver.
And just
He's
killing him.
He gets a package. You see him get a package because he can't like lift it, and it's like a hippo, like a brat or what?
Because he's obsessed with hippopotami.
Hippopotamus, right? He's just like doing that. It's a slow burn, kind of up to that. Then he turns and sees and she's just like whack, you know, and all this other stuff.
Yeah. Right. She plays some kind of weird game as well with little Sylvia about Alice in Wonderland, and she with the Mad
Hatter. Tea time party, like the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Because the Mad Hatter's brought up too.
She imagines like she's pouring tea out and all that.
She's acting like the Mad Hatter, right?
Yeah. With all the people that are killed on that glass table that was great, where she puts the last dude there with everybody else. You're like,
which is Roberto, right?
Yeah, Roberto.
Yeah. So he comes back, then Roberto, and then she got this meat cleaver and she starts killing him as well.
She kisses him and stuff like that too. Turns around and like, boom.
But there's a great scene, right, which forebodes all the early 80s slashers, where she's got the 3 dead bodies around the table.
Yes.
Like, if you think about Happy Birthday to Me,
yes,
which was, fucking 10 years later? No.
Or Stage Fright.
7, 8, late. Stage Fright, yeah. Or, like, quite a while later.
Or Madhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of those type early slashers.
Yeah.
But
no, so...
Go on, yeah.
So she's like, I know we kind of backtracked a little bit, but like we're at the part where she's done jumped off, like she's got pushed off, or she, you know, like she sees Sylvia push her mother off, but it's really her, kills herself.
Yeah, because the girl, she sees her behind her and she's all smiling and stuff like that, and it's the girl that goes and
right,
and you hear her laughing.
Both go off, but
you hear her laughing before she crashes. Basically, you hear her go like ha 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 ha.
But there's only like old Sylvia on the floor. You know, the girl is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
and then she's, you know, taken from the cult and taken to like a damn underground cave
place,
and they're all looking like some sons of bitches at a ribeye buffet or something, you know. Like,
and that's the thing. Everybody is there. Everybody that you thought was dead that she killed, are there.
Yeah, they're not dead. She didn't kill nobody. Yeah,
they're all taking their little piece. It's the guy who played the boyfriend is the one that has the scalpel like that. That's a good scene with her on the concrete too. Where she's
I want to know was the stepfather, because some of these people are older people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the Rossetti character, which, by the way, we didn't even mention he was in The Antichrist, 1974.
Okay. Yeah.
He was the faith healer in The Tempter. Right. He's also in a movie called The Sex Machine. It was a sci-fi comedy in 1975. But anyway, but like her stepfather, was he grooming her then? To grow her for the cult, to eat her.
Shit. Yeah, see, there's so many questions with this.
Yeah, because everyone's taking their turn. It seems to be like an unlimited buffet of her, and then you see it panning out. You hear the music play just all the way.
Yeah, they're all just grabbing body parts.
Yeah,
out of her,
like it's mine. You can't have it.
Her boyfriend's the one that does the cutting.
Yeah.
Right, and then, but her stepfather's there.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's there. Yeah,
he's part of the
all
cult.
the people that seem to have been like manipulating her, like you say, in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
So she was manipulated very young, very young. She
was being groomed
for this purpose, for the cult.
Same thing when she goes back to the gravestone where the picture of the mom is at, and she hits it, and what do you see in there? Like, was it cockroaches? Like 4 of them, like all skittering around.
They're like beetles, right?
Yeah, beetles. Yeah. So,
what do you think on that though? Like, that's not too far of a stretch, right? Like
No.
that she's been groomed and these people have been observing her and
they've
they've
been
been targeting
observing
her since she was a little girl.
Oh yeah, it has to be after the death of her mom. Oh yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So this is where I look at it. So the death of her mum, yeah, I believe obviously she killed her mother when she was a young girl, because she was so pissed off that her mother was having, got married to this evil stepdad.
Affair, kind of at the time.
This evil stepdad, I take it, was raping her, molesting her, or whatever at a young age.
And her dad too.
And she, her dad too. And she basically just blamed the mother, so she killed the mother.
Do you think they cannibalized the mom too, after she was killed back in the day? Because it almost seems that way. Yeah, they could have done that too. So it's just
honestly, man, anything's possible with this film, which is what I love about it. Yeah.
But I know a lot of people compare this to what is it? Hold on, I got it here. A lot of people compare it to Rosemary's Baby and Repulsion.
Yeah.
But there's another film. I know we said Short Night of Glass Dolls, but there's another film that come out in the 80s called The Believers.
I've heard of
that film.
I've heard of that one.
With Martin Sheen. It's very similar to this. Very much.
Yeah, with Martin Sheen. Yeah.
It's. I wouldn't say like as far as the mental breaking down angle, that's not similar at all. But as far as like the voodoo shit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
I recommend the rainbow shit like that.
Serpent in the Rainbow too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
do you know I see this film completely different now. So
yeah, I'm glad. And again, we'll have our final thoughts on it in a minute.
Yeah.
But do you know the scene where in The Girl Who Knew Too Much, where she arrives? So you've got Letitia Roman, the blonde. She arrives in this apartment later on in the film with the killer with the bulb. That actual scene was in this fucking house, which is incredible as well. And I mentioned the library scene in Inferno.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So this film, I'm just so glad Dirk really likes this now.
I do. I do think that on a first watch though, to be prepared, because it kind of lulls. Yeah. It lulls. You have to really stay with it. You have to really pay attention, and I don't think you're gonna get everything on the first go. Like I think you need to really give it 2 watches at least. I say that on most every film like this. It's still ambiguous. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. And
it's like Stendhal for me. You can watch it 5-6 times and still
see
not
other
get
things.
everything. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And this score, I would put it right there with the score like for The Shining, as far as strong as being as strong as a character for a film.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Short Night of Glass Dolls, exactly the same effect it has on me as well.
Yeah.
And I've never obviously with the Goblin music with Argento, and you've got the Fabio Frizzi with Fulci. This music just works so well with the film. I can't imagine it without with a
Nicola Piovani.
Yeah, who did Footprints on the Moon, which is very never really weird.
I know a lot of people don't take to films like this, but man, this is like in my wheelhouse, man. The ambiguous film. It's
that's why I was surprised when on your
I didn't
first
see
reaction,
that in. So I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is just an unraveling mind female movie, But no.
So you can't really
way more.
Yeah, you can't really suggest this to everyone, to watch, because
it's very unique. I like films like this now. I've grown to appreciate films like this specifically. So I go off of you guys to appreciate watching films more than once, so you get a better take on it. And watching this one, I was most impressed with a second watching of this one than I was before. I'll say this right now: it gets a good 7 out of 10 for me. It was 6.5 at the time, and I can be picky, but it's a good 7 out of 10. There's no really film like this really out there, so it's a good. I like cult films, I just do. When you put that aspect in here, I'm all for it. And this is one of Mimsy Farmer's best roles, in my opinion, to the point. This really
I think it's her best. Yeah, for me, it's her best. But Yeah, I remember Chris reviewing this as well a few months back, and like when he gave it a 6, I was thinking to myself, you really need to watch it again. I probably told him, but
like my first viewing is not even a fair take because I don't know what the hell I was thinking that I
a lot of stuff is at the time after first.
I saw the whole thing, but I didn't. I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I think I had it as a 4 out of 10. But
yeah, I was
after
shocked.
seeing the complete end and rewatching the film, I'll probably give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Right. Yeah, no one's going to be surprised.
Yeah,
I'll give
that's
this
a good one. That's a good review for that, Dirk.
This is like a 9 for me. But again, have you guys seen? And I tell you what, another film, right, which I think you'll love. I don't think you've seen it. Called Images. Robert Altman's Images from 1972.
I have not.
Stars Susanna York. It is very fucking similar to this.
It sounds familiar. Images sounds familiar.
Oh man, it's I think there's might be an arrow I got, but it's a good release I got of it. It's an amazing film. It's like this woman's descent into madness, but it's like shot in the UK. It's like got very similar, because people actually said to Borelli, like, you've copied from Images, and there's no way he could have, apparently, because Images was shot in 72, but it wasn't released in Italy till 75. So they think it's highly unlikely that he's seen it. But you watch it, like, you'll be like, shit, that's exactly like, you know. They found it hard, actually, to find the actress who played the little girl, Laura Wendell. Basically, because he was looking for, like, he didn't want to have an Italian-looking actress. So they went around all these German schools in Rome, and they kind of plucked her out from there. But they went through hundreds and hundreds of girls. And she just happened, you know. She was in a couple of films before this as well, which helped. So that's how she got the part.
There is that scene, too, where she gets another present box that's for the girl and stuff like that, and it's all the same dress that she's wearing. So she gets, like, she keeps on bringing them out, like the same dress.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah,
no worries, man.
And it's just bringing out that same dress.
There's also so there's 16 seconds of this got cut as well in Italy. So you've got the love scene between Silvia and Roberto.
Probably
you've got
the rape
sex
scene
encounter.
too.
Yeah, the sex encounter with her mother and that guy, and the attempted rape. So weirdly though, they kept all the gore at the end with the cannibalism intact. So
that's why I say it's more horror than it is Giallo, but it has those elements in there, you know, with the whole characters and stuff like that. But like I said, thanks to you, Darren, really just appreciation for these films. Like, and it reminds me of Rosemary's Baby and Repulsion. I mean, to tell you the truth, it's like I say with Repulsion, with the time skips and stuff like that, thinking that the shit's going on, thinking that it's going on, and it's really not. You know what I mean?
Chris, if you've got like a piece of paper next to you, write down the Images 1972.
Images?
You need to see,
Yeah.
Do that. Or if you've got a good memory, it's up to you to remember it. But
yeah.
I think you can get it fairly cheap. Or you might be able to get it on streaming first anyway.
But yeah, Images. But like I said, all in all, it's a great film. It's a good film to watch, like during spooky season or whatever season
Robert
you want.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised, you know, Perfume isn't on like horror lists or something like that for films. I'm shocked that it's not talked about. To tell you the truth, it's like crazy.
Basically nobody talks about this film. It's like dumbfounds me really, how good it is. Hotel Fear is another one you should watch. His other film, Giallo.
Hotel Fear.
That's got like a Mondo Macabre release.
Another film by Roman Polanski. It's called The Tenant, I think. That's supposed to be another like cult type film.
That's supposed to be really good as well. Yeah,
that just went out of print from Scream Factory. Shout had that. It just went out of print for that. It sold out.
But Borelli said he doesn't mind like people saying that he was ripping off like Repulsion and, you know, Rosemary's Baby, because he said those two were heavily influences.
Well, like I said, he's a big Roman Polanski fan. He mentions those films. I'm like, okay, you know, and like specifically Rosemary's Baby, but the whole, like, that's what I like about films like this. It's what you don't see. It's what you don't see. There's something insidious going back in the background, right? These people you thinking you're friends and family. Y'all live around them, but you don't know what goes on. You don't know.
I don't know how you feel about it, Chris. I don't think Darren's as big a fan, but even films like Hereditary.
I like Hereditary.
Similar.
I
can see that. Yeah, I can see the mood and yeah, definitely.
As far as the whole cult angle,
the dollhouse angle for that. Oh yeah, it's
I just don't think people have seen this film really.
No.
It's like when Dirk was gone into the toilet. Like people don't talk about this at all. I'm like,
so I'm glad this release came out of nowhere because I didn't know about it. You know,
yeah, it was
in Italy. It's very well known.
Successful. Yeah, it was successful in Italy.
But, yeah, I mean, I recommend it, man. I give it 7.5 out of 10.
I think that'll go up as well in time
Yeah,
for Dirk. If you rewatch that again, I think that might go up to an 8.
Yeah, it possibly could, but it's. I would still put Short Night over this one, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an hard one. That's an hard argument, actually. Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah.
That's probably fucking both 9s for me. Probably neck and neck. I couldn't split. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, it was done in Rome. Yeah, Nisio Square in Rome. You can kind of tell by location wise. It's very pretty locations they use. Lazio and Studio Insert, I believe.
So I would like I know I said it earlier, but I still wouldn't consider it a giallo. There is like a big reveal at the end, but it's more cult, paranoid manipulation type genre. Psychological.
So if you say like All the Colors of the Dark is kind of you know.
That's very
I know some people say that's not a giallo as well.
And people say the Deep Red's a giallo, but you know, which it is, but I mean it does have supernatural element with the psychic.
It does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You know, it does. No, absolutely.
He has a supernatural power that she figures out who the killer is. Like, or she sees the killer's thoughts. You know,
sees the killer's thoughts. Right, exactly. No, you're right about
that. I don't think this is a fully fledged giallo. I think this is a part giallo. But you could
have the elements of one.
Cannibal.
Yeah.
You know, you could put in supernatural cannibal.
It's all subjective, though, I guess.
Yeah. All subjective. That's right. It was happy late birthday. The release date was April 4th, 1974, when it was released, you know, to the population and stuff like that. So a happy late birthday to this film.
Weirdly, like Dirk said, like you can see like in closed circuit, you can see this was advertised in the cinemas heavily at the time. Very successful. But it's
kind of like Demons when you see everything in the theater.
America or the UK, because no one fucking talks about it.
No,
it's weird, man. I think this should be like this could be a real cult film if it was seen by more people.
Right.
It's up there for me for cult films.
Yeah. Everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. There we go.
But Mimsy Farmer, man, I think these two are the best from what I've seen. Although Dirk did say Autopsy and that kind of like, she's pretty good in that as well.
Yeah, I think her performance is the strongest in Autopsy.
I can see that as well. I think so. If you put them 3 films, I'd say are the best.
Because these two, she's playing almost the same kind of character, kind of.
Yeah.
Psychological wise, definitely.
Yeah. Goes kind of schizophrenic.
Except in this one, she's being manipulated, and then the other one, she's manipulating. But it's both from childhood trauma. You know?
It is, and she goes psychotic at the end in both.
Both of these, she's a killer. So she thinks in this one.
Yeah, I mean, because in this one she don't really kill, but they bring her mind to that level. It's almost like they have to get her to a certain point to kill herself, so they can eat.
Yeah.
Like there's some kind of ritual involved. It's been going on for however old she is. What, 30?
Yeah,
I'm guessing. Something like that. Maybe 33 or some weird shit.
Yeah.
You know, but
And I mean, I've seen like a 9-page interview, or it might even be 11-page interview in one of my magazines that Borelli did back in the 90s. But he doesn't spell it all out like for you. It's completely ambiguous. I mean, you've got to make it.
And I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody spelling it out. That's why we have these discussions that we'll keep having about ambiguous films forever. You know,
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
great.
is part of the reason why I love Giallo films, by finding little obscure ones like this.
yeah,
I mean, we all love the big ones, and we're all big fans of like the Argentos. I love them to death. But finding something like this as well gives me just as much of a buzz as like
Right.
watching Opera and Deep Red and all them, you know.
Yeah.
and Opera was pretty obscure for a little while.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yes. Yeah. for
Yeah,
real.
it's only recent years, mine. People
Yeah.
are like really.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
I want to do the big one, like on our channel, like of Opera, and I want to do like a massive fucking deep dive.
Yeah.
Like a 2-hour show on Opera or something.
Woo.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
You
could do that,
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, she's a brilliant performances. I gotta be honest. She kind of like I probably wouldn't have said that a year or two ago, but she's kind of opened my eyes, Farmer, certainly with these two.
Yeah, I mean,
what she can do.
She's good at what she does, but she can't stretch it out to. But I think
broaden it.
I think maybe she realized that though, because she's an artist. At the end of the day, she's an artist now.
Yeah, boy, that's her second career. So great second career, really, for her doing this, being part of stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's great. Good for her. Still going.
Have you seen any pictures of her, like recent pictures or anything like that? Because I haven't.
Not the recent ones.
I'd love to see what she looks like now, and like Borelli's still alive as well. He's in his 80s.
Yeah,
I think he's in his 80s.
Like I said, the interview on here is like pretty recent and stuff like that with this release. So,
going on, Cal?
Hey, Cal. Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I know it's kind of an interesting streaming day today, but it's all good. I'd like to thank these two gents for joining me for part 1 of Mimsy Farmer. Part 2, we're going to be discussing Autopsy and also Lucio Fulci's the Black Cat. So that's definitely going to be a fun one. Like I say, Autopsy again. I've only watched it once. It's part of that forgotten Giallo set that Vinegar Syndrome released. That's probably one of my favorite ones. One of them. The one after that's better, but that one has Autopsy, and I just watching that film. I mean, I can't wait to talk about that. It's crazy. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting Giallo film.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. But it's a lot of stuff going on in that film. We'll discuss that. Of course, the Black Cat. Lucio Fulci's The Black Cat with the late great Patrick McGee, and of course Mimsy Farmer and David Warbeck. So that'll be a good one to discuss as well. So what are you guys doing on your channel?
I was going to say Autopsy kind of reminds me of a film come out in the 80s called Coma, in a way.
Oh, yeah.
But, I remember seeing that on HBO a long time ago. I need to revisit. Actually.
I've always wanted to see that one. Yeah.
But no, so Saturday we're going to be covering some 3 films from the maestro Dario Argento, one of the maestros. We're going to be covering Do You Like Hitchcock from 2005. Then we'll be covering Giallo from 2009. And then Dark Glasses from 2021, 2022?
22, I think.
Yeah, I like Dark Glasses. Yeah, I like Dark Glasses.
So more of his modern Giallo. And I haven't seen Do You Like Hitchcock, and I haven't seen Giallo. But also, I do have an unboxing coming up of the Mad Puppet, and I got it right here. I'll kind of show just what this sucker looks like.
Oh boy!
So I got an unboxing of this bad boy coming up.
Look at that!
But I'll be doing that.
That's gotta be going out of print as well soon.
Yeah,
if not already, probably.
That's an awesome box too for that.
Yeah, and it's cool because it opens from the bottom right here. But I got an unboxing.
Oh, right, like a drawer type of a thing.
Yeah, it's a drawer. You don't have to tear nothing open and shit.
Are you gonna keep it in the box, or are you gonna display it in time?
I'll probably keep it in the box. I'm one of them kind of guys.
That's pretty nice. I'm that way too with my Jason figures. Yeah.
But
But you could still display it in the box, with the box, display the box type.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, you could. I could open it up and separate it, but
yeah.
But anyway, we got that unboxing. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing part 4 of 5, Joe of the Coffin with Brian Goes Blue, covering 2 more Coffin Joe films. So, yeah. And we got the Dead End Driving coming up.
Yeah, that's Tuesday night, I believe, in it. But I think
that's not
recorded.
Live. That's recorded.
We got Eurocult as well Sunday.
Yeah, Eurocult Sunday. So there's a lot of shit going on.
Talking about the Devil's Honey, right?
The Devil's Honey.
Yeah.
But yeah. So got a lot of things going, man.
We've got like a really packed month coming up on the channel. We got you got Argento, we've got Fulci, we got Diodato, we got Bava.
Yeah.
So people stay tuned for that. And notice I put the channel's name and instead of Q-Boy, which I got to start doing more because I want to be, me and Dirk are part of this channel.
Of course, I put your channel up in the info bar. Of course, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, check out.
Anyone watching like in now or in the future that's not subscribed, get over there, subscribe.
Dude, subscribe, damn it.
More of the same of what we've done tonight. Really, exactly the same type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, just all the colors, man, of this awesome genre. Yeah, like I said, slasher stream with Darren. I do have Thursday off, so I'll talk to you all about that, Darren, and stuff like that. We're doing 2 slashers. We're going to be doing Death Screams, and we are going to be doing Madhouse. So, 2 Arrow releases, and we'll be talking about that and having fun with that one too. The end of the month.
I still haven't watched it yet, but
I have it. Yeah. Yeah,
that's the slipcover Dirk as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's the slipcover too. You can probably still get it.
Yeah,
I think I've got the slipcover. I'm not sure. I've not seen. I've seen the film obviously, but I've not opened that version of it yet.
Yeah, and of course at the starting next month, do a big live there. I'm going to show what's in the bag. I talked about that in the past, so expect that. And then Texas Hardcore, aka Russ, man, he did a good suggestion. All the colors of the slasher dude. So episode 0, all the colors of the slasher dude. That's going to be live. Going to be 2 parts. My top 10 Giallo. Part 1's going to be first 5. Part 2 is going to be last 5. So that's going to be a big project for me. Holy shit.
That's probably going to be ongoing for you though, because that's going to change.
Yeah.
In 5 years' time.
I know what my top 4 are. I know what the top 4 are. There's no doubting that at all. It's just the ones kind of below that. So, it's going to be a fun one for me to check out and gives me excuse to kind of look through all that I've watched and stuff like that. And I mean, the first 5 may interest some people, and what I have some rankings and stuff like that. So expect that. Future 4 films, of course, Mimsy Farmer Part 2, talked about that. And then just cool future content in the future. I'll,
I don't know if y'all can still get this if anybody's interested, but I ordered this steelbook from France, Amazon France.
Oh, nice.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
That's the 4 Flies.
How much was that then, Dirk?
This was like $40 shipped.
That ain't bad.
Nice.
For a steelbook. Yeah. It's cool.
Well,
to
I
have
see that.
This son of a bitch was high as hell.
Man, yeah. Case of the Bloody Iris is just being. I think they're shipping out now. So in the next week or so, I'll have a word with Dirk because
that's
Are you buying that right now, or are you gonna wait? Or
I'll be getting it soon. So let me know when you're buying it for yourself and order me one, and I'll give you the money on the Cash App and And then you can probably keep it for me until that Fulci set comes in.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that one myself because a lot of the pre-orders that I have.
Yeah. Just Dirk, let me know if you want anything because obviously you're getting me that, but I'll buy you something, as well. And
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And of course, there's something geeky in the collection that'll be next month too. Caveman will be coming back, so I hope Guy's doing good. He's feeling better. Wife's doing better. Awesome. So then with my boy Jeffrey, geeky brother Jeffrey, he'll be on there. John Doe Juggalo, check his stuff out too. Check Guy's stuff out, and expect that in the future. So expect great stuff from everybody here, and like to appreciate everybody for for joining us. I'm Chrissy, the Slasher Dude. That's Subjective Perspective Collective. Dirk, that's Darren, part of the same channel. Gotta love it. You all take care, everybody. Love Giallo, love the genre, man. Love slashers, love collecting physical media, man. Y'all stay good, man. Peace out. I'll see you all next time, man.
Look under your beds and look behind you in the dark.
Yeah, Noah, put the black gloves on and slash that damn light, dude. And sleeping bag, kill the subscribe of that tree. We'll see you all later.
Yep.
An innocent man becomes a target of insanity as he steps into the crosshairs of a homicidal maniac with a need for revenge. Four Flies on Gray Velvet.